Welcome to the gunchannels.com early lobby chat. I'm Night Strike. Thanks for listening. All right, we got a lot of stuff going on today. Hopefully some people will come in and chat. I don't know if they will, but I hope they do. All right, carrying on from what we were talking about earlier. We were talking in the regular lobby chat, the chat room on gunchannels.com. It's a great place to go to talk about guns and watch live shows and podcasts concerning guns, equipment, and gear, just about anything you can think of that pertains to guns. And some things that has nothing to do with guns, but we still talk about it anyways because, well, America, fuck yeah. We were talking about, earlier we were talking about Tony had a Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. Heard those are good guns. Not really a Smith & Wesson guy myself, except for that M9 bayonet they've made. Not last year, but I think they made it the year before, and they're still making it. But that type of bayonet that they make, the M9 bayonet, instead of buying it from Ontario, you can get the M9 bayonet from Smith & Wesson. And a guy did a YouTube video on it not too long ago, taking both, and putting them through a stress test. And actually, what happened was the Smith & Wesson won out over the Ontario knife. And Ontario makes the current M9s for the United States government when they need one, or United States military, not government, excuse me. But I digress. It's still pretty cool that the Smith & Wesson bayonet outdid the, Ontario. At least in my book, it's cool. I mean, anyone else's, I can't speak for. Anyways, there is something I did want to talk about. Where is it? This happened like last week before. Here it is. The last World War, Cold War, Gulf War veteran to retire after 94 years of service. And it's not a veteran you think of. The Browning M2 machine gun, serial number 324, is finally being retired in the United States military. After 94 years of shooting down America's enemies. Okay, not really shooting it down, but just serving the United States military. Well, serving as a tool for the United States military. I don't know. I'm not sure on that, but how many guns do you know that has served in the United States, that has been used in the United States military for 94 years? Probably not many. I saw this on BearingArms.com, so if you want to look it up, you're more than welcome to. Just look for it. It was posted November 11th, 2015. All right, and yeah, I mean, that's one hell of a machine gun. I just hope they don't scrap it. I hope they put it like in a museum or something, because, or it would be better to put it in a museum and say, hey, this gun served in the United States military for almost 100 years. I mean, that's publicity right there for the military if they need it. Granted, they don't make guns like that anymore that can last 100 years, but well, some would argue that they do make them that will last 100 years, and it all depends on whether you take care of it or not. And that's not really a question. It's just a statement. But, 94 years is nothing to scoff at. Anyways, what's next? This is some stuff that I saw that I wanted to mention. So that one I thought was pretty damn cool. Not really a lot going on right now. Let's see if there's anything else worth mentioning. Oh, hey, chalk it up from Massachusetts. Weapons stolen from assault rifles, other weapons stolen from Army Reserve Armory in Massachusetts. All right, good job there, Massachusetts. Hold on, let me do this. This will be good. There we go. Yeah, good job there, Massachusetts. So the story says some weapons were missing after a burglary at the Lincoln W. Stoddard U.S. Army Reserve Center in Worcester last night. But the agency insisted that there is no indication of terrorism. Yeah, right. Just criminals. A terrorist is just a criminal that on steroids, more or less. They don't follow normal rules criminals do use, but they're still a criminal nonetheless. But unfortunately we've created a whole other class of criminals called terrorists instead of just calling them criminals. So whatever on that. But anyways, apparently the media is trying to downplay and rewrite some of this story, but it doesn't take away from the fact that select fire full automatic weapons, possibly heavier armament like rocket propelled grenades, probably light machine guns, were probably stolen as well. So good job there, Massachusetts. Good job. Yeah, so in their whole act of, oh yes, let's institute gun control in Massachusetts, people go and just say, well, fuck that. I'll just break into the Massachusetts Armory. And that's what they did. Good job there. Yeah, gun control. Huh. Obviously, none of them have ever lived in the South. Well, except for Clinton. But, we don't go there. We're not going there. I refuse to talk about it. Anyways, what else is on the news? Anything else worth mentioning? No, just a bunch of moms demand attention shit that, has no bearing on it. Okay, here's an interesting bit. Tracking Point offers free rifles to off ISIS. Sort of. This is also off of bearingarms.com. And they mentioned if you're headed overseas in the military to fight off Islamic State and Al Qaeda, then the company will give you is offering 10 free M600 service rifles or M800 designated marksman rifles to any U.S. organization that can legally bring them to the Middle East to fight against terrorism. Which, that's nice. It's a nice gesture, but, honestly, why bother? It's probably just a advertising gimmick, if anything.
Well, if you get to keep them and you have like a contract company.
Well, it's they're giving it to U.S. government organizations, so I think they just mean like if you're in the military, you're going over there to fight, like special forces guys, or if you're a contractor. I hate to say the word contractor, but a combatant contractor that's going over there to fight on behalf of the United States government, then they'll, like say if they're. I hate to use the word mercenary, but the fact is that every government in existence still uses mercenaries at some point or another. Here in the United States, we just call them PMCs, but let's not step away from the fact that they are mercenaries. They're just mercenaries behind a corporation instead of doing it all on their own.
Yeah, but the difference between our legitimate mercenaries, if you want to call them that, contractors, that they won't go to another country and fight because they got a higher paycheck. You know what I mean?
Right. A
mercenary, like a true mercenary, will just take the highest offer and fight for whoever.
Well, that's not always true. Some mercenaries have ethics, not a lot, but some have ethics where they won't go and take another contract until their previous contract is finished. Granted, maybe I'm putting them a little too high, but Anyways, hello, Moonfood. Moonfood, how are you doing? I want to say Ford for some reason when I see you, and I don't know why.
Moonford?
Yes. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just maybe I see an R there where there should be another O. I don't know.
According to my patch, I'm mood food.
Okay. Well,
for food.
Keep that patch on, otherwise you'll forget who you are. So I just started rambling on and reading some articles that I've seen over the past couple of weeks. So, just to get this started. But yeah, if you got anything you want to talk about, please jump in here, please.
I have no knowledge of current events right now.
It doesn't have to be current, just anything you want to talk about. Remember, this is the lobby chat where we talk about just about anything.
Yeah.
But for anyone that does follow it, Hit or Miss episode 3 is going to be on tonight. I don't know if it's going to be myself or if it's going to be a bunch of other people, but I'm going to do it this week. I didn't do it last week because I had family looking for work and I got Fallout 4. I won't lie.
But you did it the week before, right?
I did it the week before. I didn't do it last week. Episode. It's all on YouTube if you want to go look at it. It's just us talking, It's like it's more like a moderated version of the lobby chat. It's a broader term where I talk about politics, guns, and anything else, like any gear or anything else that tickles my fancy or whatever.
So how's Fallout 4?
Fallout 4 is a wonderful game. There are bugs on the PC version, but you have to realize every game, every bit of software is going to have some bugs somewhere. You can only polish it so much before you actually have to get people, and I mean lots of people that have different different hardware configurations going out and testing the game to find out what's working and what's not. No. Because there have been some people complaining about some of the bugs. But as a game where you go and just wander a post-apocalyptic Boston and go out into the wasteland and shoot stuff, it's a wonderful game. I mean, they as far from the previous Fallout New Vegas game that they had, where they had your weapons would break, your weapons don't break anymore after firing it like 500 times. It just works. And if you keep a rifle,
Yeah, they consulted another development team that just does first-person shooters to make the shooting part of Fallout.
It's not that they consulted. They hired a guy who was part of a group that was had done previous first-person games, and he joined their team.
First-person games, though.
Yeah.
I can't remember which ones.
He did pretty well, and it is a good game. I do have a couple issues, but overall, as far as gameplay and whatnot, I am actually happy that I paid $38 for the game and I'm playing the game. It's a good game. I enjoy it. I beat it the other night. I will not spoil it for anyone, but all I will say is, guns are wonderful, and they're wonderful, wonderful tools, but nothing beats power armor. Just nothing.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that game for my kid.
Yeah.
he likes the Fallout games.
How old is your kid?
16.
16. All right. Cool. Well,
I got Black Ops 3. I guess that came out the same day Fallout did.
I mean, do you play any games at all, or is there any game you're interested in? Because we could talk about that.
Yeah, I just play Black Ops 3. Whatever Call of Duty's out, I play.
So you're a Call of Duty fan?
Yeah.
Did you ever try any of the Battlefield games?
Yep. Yeah, they're all right. I like them in a different way because they're like a totally different pace from Call of Duty. So
yeah, I'm more of I was an early adopter of Battlefield because I had 1942, I had Vietnam, I got Battlefield 2. I loved Battlefield 2. I played it for years and years, and I liked it more so than I liked 1942, just because it had more modern weapons. But it was the way they did the whole squad-based thing in Battlefield 2 as opposed to the prior games. They didn't really do it well, and they did it better in Battlefield 2. And then the last really good one that I liked was Battlefield Bad Company 2, and that was really good. No, I don't know if you've ever heard of that one, but it is definitely worth a look. And they redid Battlefield Vietnam for that game and released it as an expansion. It was very fun to run around, where you could use the M16 if you wanted to, but they also gave you the option if you wanted to run around with a full automatic M14, you're there. So I would always bite the bullet and run around with a full automatic M14. I know the kick is horrible on that, the recoil is horrible, but the fact is, it's an M14. I mean, I can't afford an M1A, but at least in a video game, I can run around with an M14.
Yep. I don't really PC game at all, so all the games I play are on console.
I'm a big PC gamer. I've been PC gaming since the 5 1/4 floppy days.
So all the Battlefields, I played all the Battlefields that were on consoles.
And, well, that's good.
I used to, a couple years ago, I had these, bought some headphones, Tritons or something.
Tritons are good, yeah.
So I think it was Battlefield 2. I think it was Battlefield 2. I was nothing but a sniper that whole time online. Like every once in a while, I do the assault kit loadout, whatever. Most of the time, I was a sniper, and all you had to do was like lay in the bushes with them headphones on. You could hear the footsteps coming, and you just jump out and kill them.
Well, no, when I was sniping, what I would do is I would get the sniper rifle. I'd find a nest, and one that had like not really an aerial view. It would just be higher up than everywhere else on the map. And what I would do is, you know, in Battlefield, the sniper can call in an airstrike. So I would snipe people, and when I was able to call in an airstrike, I would call in an airstrike where everyone was fighting and vying for that one point, because I did a lot of capture the point gameplays. So, you know, everyone's fighting over this one point, and out of nowhere, an airstrike comes in right over them. I got a lot of kills that way. And yes, I know we're talking about video games, but, you know, I did talk about the M14.
Yeah, there's guns in these games.
Yes, there are lots of guns.
They're entertaining. I can't deny it. I'm not a denier. I'm not a having fun denier.
Yeah, but there was a promotion going on through IGN. It's a gaming website, a news gaming website. And they had a promotion where if you go into this place, you can get a copy of Fallout for like $38. So I went and did that and pre-ordered it. And instead of paying like $50 or $60, I only paid like $38. So I was really happy.
It's not bad. Yeah, I used to get, before I got into guns, like 7 years ago, I was into video games. So that's all I did.
Well, I'm still into video games because I have
the same as guns. I would just make deals, you know,
right.
Sell some stuff, trade stuff in. Except consoles aren't worth shit after a few years, unless like some anomaly happens and they become popular like 20 years later. But
well, that's because, you know, between console gaming and PC gaming, you know, if you notice all the newer consoles, they have they're getting the same hardware that PCs are getting, because, you know, it's cheaper to just put PC hardware in there and just, you know, put in their own operating system on the console and sell it as a console.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years. I mean, there's always been some kind of Microsoft.
They started that with like the PS3 and the Xbox 360.
Even the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast had Microsoft and Hitachi, IBM chips in it.
It's the Dreamcast, I believe it was.
Yeah, Dreamcast.
I have one. It still works. It's a great system. I don't have many games for it, but, you know, whenever me and my brother want to, you know, get some nostalgia, we pull out the Dreamcast and play some. Because, you know, there were a couple good games for that system.
Yeah,
granted, it was overshadowed by the PlayStation 2, and I've got the PlayStation 2 as well. I've got the first gen PlayStation 2.
I had like 3 Dreamcasts. I had one broke, bought a new one. Then I bought that sports edition because it was all black. And then I took a Q-tip one day and wiped the lens off of the one that I thought was broken, and it started working again. So I gave one of them to my brother-in-law.
Awesome.
And yeah,
it was just that the CD-ROM lens was just dirty, probably.
I had all that shit.
Yeah.
Late 90s, early 2000 electronics. Nowadays, I don't know. I'm like some guy.
I've got something for you. I've still got 2 working NESs, and I've got a Super Nintendo, and I have a Sega Genesis. And I don't have. It's not the Master System Sega Genesis. It's just the second gen, where it's just the Genesis, and I've got the Sega CD hookup for it, and it still works.
Yeah, I had that.
I also had the 32X adapter, which was worthless in the first place, but I got it at a Goodwill for like $10.
32X so you could play Virtual Fighter.
Oh man, Virtual Fighter. Those were the days, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad we're talking about it because, some of the guys, my age and probably your age too, will say, I used to play those games when I was younger.
Well, it makes it a lot easier nowadays that I'm focused on guns instead, because then I can be more, I can decide which games are worthy of buying and which
Right.
games aren't, instead of just buying them all, playing them, and selling them or trading them in.
All right. Well, if I see any games that are any good, I'll let you know.
2 or 3 games a year get all the awards and are worth buying. I'll just buy those.
Fallout 4, I will tell you, if you're on the fence of Fallout 4,
I'll just play my kids.
Yeah, just get him a copy if he wants it, and just play his if it looks all right for you.
Yeah,
you might not get the first couple of it.
Oblivion and Skyrim. I liked all them.
Oh, I love Skyrim, and I was glad that when I built my PC, it was above spec for Skyrim, so I could play everything on ultra high. So, because I build a PC and I just upgrade my PC every 4 or 5 years, and I'm good for that. I'm good for another 4 or 5 years because it's cheaper than going and buying a new console every time a new console comes out. Because you've seen the price on consoles, right? You're going to spend like what is it? Upwards. At one point, the PS3 or 4 was like $800.
I'm an early adopter, so I pay the most and get the least.
you get the least out of it, but with a PC, you can use pre-existing hardware. You like say you're upgrading a computer. I mean, you have hard drives that still work. You just want to get a new graphics card. If you need a new processor, you get a new processor, motherboard, and RAM. There you go, new computer. You can use your existing hard drives as long as they're not bad.
Yeah, I'm not going to deal with all that shit.
I know.
Just put it all in a box. Make it easy for me. Hook it up to my TV and play. Plug and play.
Well, you might want to look at those Steam boxes because they're able to play Steam games. And, I don't know if you've heard of the Steam platform.
Yeah.
You might want to look at that.
Valve and Half-Life and all that.
Yeah.
But they should just put Steam on consoles.
They should. They should. I think they do. I think PlayStation has it. I think they do have Steam on PlayStation. I'm not sure.
I don't think PS4 has it. I got Xbox One and PS4. And I don't know. I haven't looked at the apps lately, but I would have heard about that shit. Steam on Xbox One, that would be sweet.
I bet Sean is really angry that we're doing an early lobby while he's at work. And
the reason they don't do that is because they would have to port every game on Steam to play on your console.
Well, now with consoles, they have it where you can just go and download the game directly to your console's hard drive because every console these days has a hard drive. So it's not any different than a PC. It's just, they're doing it within the constraints of the proprietary operating system that your console uses.
Right. They still got to...
And if anyone doesn't know what an operating system is, it's what runs on a computer. Maybe you've heard of Windows, and if you haven't, maybe you've heard of Linux. And if you haven't, you've been living under a fucking rock for the last 20 years. Where the hell have you been?
I don't know any of that shit.
I know, right? But sorry, I had to go on a tangent there. Let's get back to guns. So the Smith & Wesson M&P was it 1522 is what Tony said he had?
Yeah.
Did you have one?
I had one. I had Smith & Wesson M&P 1522 Magpul edition. When I bought it, it was before Sandy Hook, like way before Sandy Hook, and it was $525. And back then, I don't know what the Magpul editions come with now, but then it had like a regular mil spec trigger group and trigger. It didn't have like a cast green. I can't tell if it's plastic or cast metal. I think it might be cast metal or MIM, some kind of MIM hammer. Didn't have any of that shit in it, and it had a QD mount, like in the receiver, like built into the receiver. So the regular one is unthreaded, comes with regular A2 stock, and whatever kind of those detachable sights that they put on that aren't folding. But the Magpul edition came with all Magpul furniture, wool, the grip and the stock, and a threaded barrel and Magpul flip ups.
Nice.
Plus that built-in QD mount that's not on the other M&Ps, 1522s. So I don't know. He said he way overpaid for that one that he got. I was just trying to make him feel better. But apparently he doesn't have the Magpul edition.
So you're still the one feeling pretty bad.
No, he has a threaded barrel at least. At least he doesn't have the totally dumbed down version.
So here's the thing, when someone mentioned, I don't know if it was you or somebody else mentioned the Hearing Protection Act. What do you think about that?
I think it would come close, a lot closer to passing, if not just passing, if the gun community was as riled up as they were trying to defend their rights from being taken. If they would just put that energy towards taking a right back.
Well, remember, from what my friends of my family in Australia have said, a right taken is harder to get back, and you never get that right back once you give it up.
Right.
And as I said, friends of my family over in Australia, they live there, and they're part of the, I guess, the Australian NRA, whatever pro-gun group they got over there, and they're actually trying to get some of their gun laws back, and they're actually working on that.
They're the Liberal Democratic Party of Australia.
I don't know if that's who they are or if they're...
I'll give you a link. Well, they're like the most pro-gun party / I guess organization.
They're trying to get some people elected on their side so they can, basically tear down a lot of these gun control laws, because believe it or not, the whole criminal aspect of gun control didn't work in Australia. Actually, things got worse when they got rid of guns and they said people couldn't defend themselves. Instead of things getting better, the crime went up by, I think they said it was like 64%. When you can just go into someone's house, with a gun, and you're a criminal because you're not following any laws, and just hold people at gunpoint and just rummage through people's shit and then shoot them and leave. I mean, that's not kosher. And yes, I know that's bad choice of words, but still, it shouldn't fly in any country. But I guess some countries, would rather impose laws that protect the people in charge than protect the people that they get elected from. And hey Z, how's it going? I didn't see you there.
Who's this dude?
All good. Thanks.
Check that dude out. He's like hardcore pro-gun, liberal Democrat.
Yeah, in our country, that wouldn't, you can't be a liberal Democrat and be, pro-gun. It just doesn't work.
When I asked people from Australia on Facebook about it, they were like making fun of me. They were anti-gun people, but they were like, "That's not even a real party." But I don't know. I don't live there.
It's not even a real party.
I'm not going to take their word for it.
People say the same thing about the Green Party here in the United States. It's not even a real party. But, Ralph Nader's been their front-running guy for like the past, 30 years?
Yeah, but
or longer.
Or longer, yeah.
He hasn't even gotten half the votes that Ross Perot got, or whatever, half the polling.
Ross Perot. Oh my God, I remember seeing that stuff on
TV. He was an independent, and I think he got 1.5 or 3%, something like that.
And then there was Bob Dole, and wasn't Bob Dole the one who did the Viagra commercial just to get
Bob Dole? Bob Dole says.
Was Bob Dole
Bob Dole
Republican?
says, "Hold my pen."
Was Bob Dole a Republican? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think Bob Dole was a Republican. But I remember that shit vividly because, some of that stuff was hilarious, and then Bob Dole did the whole Viagra commercial, and that was even funnier.
Well, lead in his pencil. He was always holding a pen from his military injury, right?
Right.
Or his pen, or whatever. So that was like the whole joke was the lead in the pencil. Little known fact, he was obviously a stuntman too, because you also remember the breakaway railing that they had Bob Dole deal with the one time there. It was terrible. Terrible.
Hey, G-Webs, how's it going? Anyways, yeah.
So I've found a place that will ship ammo to Hawaii.
But the problem has occurred. That site you sent me, it says a problem
Yeah, that's
why
I put the never mind underneath, because I noticed once I shared it, it took it away from the order page or whatever.
Okay. So you found a place that might ship to Hawaii, right?
Oh, it says they've calculated my shipping and handling.
And they didn't have any things that said they won't ship to Hawaii or anything?
Doesn't have nothing that says they won't. They are also charging me $100 to ship shit to Hawaii.
Did you call them and ask them to make sure that they shipped?
Oh, I haven't. I have not pressed click buy yet. It's in the cart. I've calculated the shipping. Everywhere else that I've looked, there's maybe one other place that will. Every time anybody else that I check and I start to do the what do you call that? The zip code, they pretty much shut me down pretty much right there. And I usually do check the shipping policies ahead of time on the website.
Now, why is that? Is there some law in Hawaii, or is it just the fact that it's just, because you're an island off the coast?
It's the hazardous materials thing, shipping it to Hawaii, and I think there is some law about the way in which it is allowed to be shipped into Hawaii. And I'm pretty sure that that's why it's what. For example, the order says that it weighs 27.30 pounds, which is not small, but it's not super heavy. It's basically 4 boxes of 50 of 357. Mm-hmm. It's 4 boxes of 50 of 45 ACP, so like 200 rounds of each. And then it's 500. It is 200 rounds of 308. So 200 rounds, 200 rounds, 200 rounds. So 600 rounds is basically what they're saying is going to weigh 27.30 pounds. And they do, I think they have free shipping to like you guys, and so to speak. But for me, it's 100. And I haven't ordered from this site yet. This is one that I found in the past few times of looking, though, that they are consistent. And that's the Ammo Supply Warehouse. Prices are pretty reasonable, if you ask me. Now, granted, I was getting Armscore for the 357 and Armscore for the 45, and it was the cheap Wolf 308 Polyformance for the boxes of 20, but they want $8.99 for a box of 20. A freaking 308. Now, granted, again, it's the Polyformance, so it's not brass, it's not reloadable, it's probably burnt and primed. I mean,
steel cased,
probably, or coated even, lacquered or whatnot.
For 308,
$8.99 for a box of 20 is pretty good. Granted, again, it's not brass. I know that. But for shooting targets and paper, that's pretty reasonable in my mind, since I just paid $88 for 100 rounds of 7.62 NATO here on island.
Your Garand doesn't care. what if it's steel or not.
Right? And I believe you are correct on that. So
wait, your Garand. What, are you using a chamber adapter?
No, I have a tanker Garand. It was rebarreled and everything like that to 308 from the 30-06.
Okay, I did not hear that part.
Yeah,
I don't know if you even mentioned it, but I did not know that you had one because the Garand. If anyone listening doesn't know, the Garand is 30-06.
Yes, so this is like a Franken or a chopped.
It's closer to what, a BM-59?
Yeah.
Does it have a magazine, or is it still like clip based?
It's still clip based. That was one of the things I was looking into. I have found a place where I can get a magazine conversion and an adjustable gas block put in if for the price,
Right.
I haven't decided to do that because it was
you're messing with the receiver, and that's an iffy thing right there.
Well, all that's already done. But yes, the magazine conversion, I would agree it's a thing. But this dude seems to be pretty reputable from what I've seen online.
Okay.
Granted, it's online, so whether it's the YouTube or forums or whatnot, he does seem to have a pretty what do you call it? A consistent, good type reviews and everything like that. And usually, if anybody's trying to do these conversions, because what he usually does is he'll actually take like a beat up actual Garand and rechamber it to a 308, rebarrel it, all of that too. So like that's like what he does for the most part. But he also does like this mag conversion. When he has them, he can do the adjustable gas block, which is from, what did you call it? Is it a 58 or 59?
It's 59.
Yeah.
BM-59. It's Brett took a bunch of M1 Garands and converted them to 308. For the Italian military.
Yeah,
and it's called the BM-59.
You're gonna get the adjustable gas block for when you move back to the States and get a suppressor.
I was just doing it because I thought that and I may have thought this mistakenly. You know how the difference between 5.56 and 223 is big. Come to find out, the difference between 308 and 7.62 NATO isn't as big a pressure differences, and it hasn't had much of an issue in whether it was the 7.62 NATO or the 308 so far.
All right, guys, I hate to do this, but I got to head out and run a few errands and get some dinner, so I'm going to go grab a burger out, so I'll be back in like 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, thanks, G-Webs. But I just wanted to let you know I'm not leaving you guys hanging, but I'm going to leave this up for the lobby chat.
Right on. Appreciate that.
Just like Pink goes to work and, leaves his up all night. But I'll be back.
Very good.
So yeah, that all that stuff, that's basically the cost of a new gun. This stuff that I was looking at for the ammo to be able to be shipped, if I spent that $300 on actual reloading gear, it would kind of get me ahead. So I'm trying to not click buy. I'm trying to wait to see if there's any deals on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I'm trying to not blow
only next
fucking
week.
Money.
That's just next week.
Right.
You can wait.
Oh, I definitely can wait.
Wait, firearms have a has a Black Friday market?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought firearm markets were like totally different from everything else.
Not really.
Yeah, there's
it's like
tons of deals on Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Like I'll try and find the Slick Guns one, and I'll just post that for you in here and out there, so you can just start perusing the aisles, as it were. Because I'm like that. I don't know if it's an enabler or I'm a supporter. I think it's a little bit of both. Nice, Robbie's out there. Press the button. Yeah, he's not wrong. You're not wrong, Robbie. I know. And it all started because I saw something where it was like 46 cents a round for if I got 500 of those polyformants, it was like $1.78 or something like that, plus $90 shipping and handling. So it was just kind of one of those things that got the ball rolling, and I almost got ahead of myself.
How much is the shipping?
If I just get that box of 500, it was 90 something bucks. If I get the 200 rounds, 200 rounds, 200 rounds that I was talking about, the 357, the 45, and the 308, it was straight up $100. So it wasn't that much more to kind of, get a little bit of each. And those are all cheaper prices, almost by 10 to 15 bucks a box, almost cheaper. Now, when I take that extra 100 in, though, I hadn't done the math that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it still going to be cheaper to go pay my 29 to 30 bucks a box of 50 here for the 357s and the 45s?
Holy shit, it's so nice to be on gun channels again. Not xenophobia channels like last night. Oh man.
Yeah, talking about guns and ammo, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, you can't. This is awesome.
So, $90. If you split that up with all the ammo on your island, you don't know the prices. You can't do the math.
Okay.
Or is it different all the time?
Well, it's different at each place. Like if I go to the big box store, it's the cheapest on pretty much most ammo. If I go to the regular stores, the regular gun stores, they're always $5 to $10 more a box. That doesn't mean that I don't buy from them. That just means when they're out of the shelf on the big box store, well, then that's when I go and I find myself paying $35 for a box of Blazers.
That's why you got to bring these gun shops boxes of donuts.
Yeah, and pizza.
Yeah.
And potentially a cold beverage.
And
no, I definitely agree with that.
Rounds. Maybe next time they'll hook you.
Is there a particular caliber or like kind of rounds you're looking for, or is it you're just looking to buy it?
Well,
you got a link?
Which link to what? PBR?
Ammo you're talking about?
I do some. It's just to the page. It's I just emptied the basket, but I'll put it in here. It's ammo supply warehouse. I'll put it in the external to see if anybody else is out there that.
And they ship to Canada?
Well, they ship to here even.
Or I mean, tropical Canada.
Yes, Canada South.
Nice. Sorry, I had Canada on the mind.
Yes, but that's what I was talking about earlier. Is it's like if I get a box of the Wolf Polyformance 308 for about like a case of 500, it's going to be $90-something shipping. I also had the cart. I emptied that, and then I had the cart loaded with 200 rounds of Armscore 357, 200 rounds of Armscore 45, and 200 rounds of that Polyformance. And it came out straight across to $100. So it was literally less than $10 more to kind of diversify the load a little bit.
Dude, this page is like an iPhone video game. What are the sound effects?
I think that is about the only thing that it's missing. But I like the big yield signs all over the place. It's like, what do I need? Oh, I need ammo for the rifle. Oh, I need ammo for this. Oh, I need that. So yeah, I don't know if anybody in gun channels has used AmmoSupplyWarehouse.com before. It is one of the few that seemingly will ship to Hawaii. And
nobody else ship there.
Oh, here, right on the top. Okay, shipping and returns. We ship to all 50 states. Alaska and Hawaii must ship to. Oh, that's why it's $100. They got to ship 2-day air as opposed to ground. So there it is. That's the first statement it has under its bullet point. So if because
what's the grain like? What particular grain are they for?
Well, it was 230s on the 45. I think it was. I don't know. Remember if it was 125s on the 357s. I don't remember at this time. It was basically. It wasn't. The Armscor wasn't exactly the cheapest, but it was the cheapest brass. And then the cheapest 308 was the Wolf Polyformance. But so to get back to what you were asking about, Moon, I can't. I don't usually see any of those on the shelf out here so much. I see Armscor every once in a while, and it's probably $10 more a box. So if I was getting $4, that would be $40.
But if you were getting one box shipped out,
oh well, I can.
How much?
I can do that.
How much
I can
would
see
it cost?
Let's see.
How many's in a box? Like 20?
These are 50s.
Oh, 50.
These are 50s. So I'll go with a box of 45. Add it to the cart. Type in the best zip code on the planet. Oh, okay. It for the box that is $14.50, which is easily $15 cheaper than what I'm paying. Like literally, it's half the price, right? Okay, for shipping one box of 50 230 grain full metal jacket Armscor Precision 45 ACP rounds goes from $14.50, adds $44.48 for shipping and handling. So then all of a sudden, one box of 50 goes up to $58.98. So apparently, getting more ship, right? So getting more than one is the way to go.
All right, I missed that. What was that?
$58, dude, is what they want for one box shipped.
Shit. And how much is a box in Hawaii?
It's depending on where you go. Like that Armscor stuff, I've seen it at the gun shop for about 35 or so.
Yeah, there you go.
The PMC or Seller and Beloit though, when I get it from the big box store, is about 25 to 29. So it's literally, $5 to $10 cheaper a box.
All right, so the more you buy online, but there's a limit to how much you can buy online?
Not as far as I know. Let me try and just put cases in there and see what the shipping is on that, because that's just ridiculous. So I'll do that.
So yeah,
I know that I won't. I know that I will not be able to afford this order, but I'm gonna put it in there anyway, just to see.
I guess it was kind of pointless to do it on one box because it's always going to be more expensive than.
And if I do it this way, then, like I said, this is going to be a thoroughly ridiculous heavy order. So now,
I got an idea. Why don't you buy a sailboat and you can sail over here, and I'll just meet you.
I mean, technically, it would be just cheaper than buying a sailboat if I just moved. Okay.
The ammo supply warehouse, they have the same price as the place I buy my ammunition. So I guess if, like, say for example, my place doesn't have ammo, I can just go to ammo supply warehouse. But if they don't have it, I can just go back to if my place has it.
Right on. So for 1,000 rounds of 1,000 rounds of 45 ACP, 500 rounds of 308, 1,000 rounds of 357. Okay, the subtotal is 849.
There you go.
All right, now
how much
the shipping and handling is basically $100 or so on each case because it's $320 shipping.
Jesus.
So for $11.70, I can get 1,000 rounds of the 357 and 45, and 500 of the 308. Now, I have seen cases of, now of course it's apples and oranges, but I've seen some of the local gun shops trying to sell cases of the 223, like Federal, for like $700 to $800, which I haven't bought because it's ridiculous.
1,000 rounds or the 440s?
It was a 1,000 in the Federal box that I looked at,
it's still not. It's ridiculous.
It is. So, you know, kind of looking at it like this, do you just... Okay, so let's see.
You buy local.
I'll do it like this. I'll do it like this. I'll add
308 Wolf in bulk.
I'll just put it like this. I'll add I'll add $100 to each of the unit costs. Okay. So since it's 1,000 and 1,000, that's pretty easy to figure out, right? So that's $390 for 1,000 rounds of 45. So that's 39 cents a round for Full Metal Jacket brass, a 45 ACP, which 39 cents a round ain't bad at all. I'm definitely paying more than that. And then the 357 will be $4.49, so 45 cents a round, which is still cheaper than what I'm paying at the store here. And then that'll be 62 cents a round probably for the 308, which is still, of course, way cheaper than what I'm paying around here. So it's like, it would be the way to go for me with the even with the shipping and everything like that. But and that total shipment weight of that is 110 pounds basically. It's 109.5 pounds to ship 2-day air. So that's why that is $320 to get those 3 cases.
Why does it have to be next day?
Oh, because they can't ship it on the boat, I guess. They can't do ground here, so it has to be...
That's weird. Like,
shipped that... Well, I think that's probably one of the laws for Hawaii, state laws, in the manner in which ammo can be... It either has to go through like a freight forwarder, which they take, you pay extra for not just the hazmat, but you're paying extra for the freight forwarder who pays, I think, extra insurance on it. So, like, if you're waiting for a pallet of stuff to come in, yes, you know, but then you're buying literally a pallet of ammo, which
that
is
literally sounds like a law in order to fuck gun owners. Seriously.
No, it is. It is, and we've already discussed in the past that that Hawaii does have some negative gun laws here. Some of them are pretty restrictive.
You can compare if you want. I already put the link up.
Freedom Munitions does not ship to Hawaii.
Dead Horse is asking if private person can ship to Hawaii.
What is he asking? How much is shipping to Hawaii? Private? Oh. Well, that's the thing. I don't know if it is legal for, say, someone that I know on the mainland to ship me the ammo themselves. Like if I got it shipped to there and then to here.
I mean, there is no straw purchase on ammo.
No, but isn't shipping ammo through the U.S. Postal Service illegal?
Wait, you can straw purchase ammo?
Yeah, it is. I think you can't. You have to. Yeah, you have to ship it special.
Right.
If it's.
I mean, we're not buying ammo for kids that can't put it in guns.
No, we're not saying ammo straw purchases. That's not what we're saying at all.
No, there's no ammo straw purchase. That's what I said.
It's the manner in which it can be shipped to Hawaii. And is it UPS or FedEx doesn't even like shipping ammo or firearms?
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay.
They ship firearms, and most of my firearms that have been shipped to me were by FedEx or UPS.
Well, I thought that Brown does it, or I mean UPS will do it.
I definitely got shit from all three. FedEx, UPS.
Well, and plus, here's the other thing for you guys, though. You're on the mainland, so you already have different rules than what I do for getting that stuff. For example, they can't ship firearms ground here, clearly, right? So, like when I got my TRR-8 online, I basically had to pay for it to get 2-day air. That's the only way that they would ship it here. And to ship it to Hawaii, 2-day air was like another $50 or whatever. So it went like from being $1,100 to just barely over $12 with shipping and transfer fee. But that was still $100 to $200 cheaper than what I could have got it at that time anyway. So.
Well, I'll meet you on the Oregon coast.
Right. I'll just take my kayak and see how long that takes.
There you go. At least you'll be in good shape by the time you get here.
Ripped, shredded. So I guess here was the other thing that I was going to get at, gentlemen, is would it just be better to make the investment and get the rest of the gear for my Dillon and just start getting into reloading full force? Instead of spending that, what was it that I had lined up first? Was it like $300, 300 something?
Are you about to go into a shooting season, or are you about to go into like a rainy season where you can't even shoot anyway, and you're gonna be buying ammo that's gonna sit on the shelf?
Well, you G-Webs are already aware of that. I have available only to me is 3 days a month if I take literally those 3 days off. So like there would still be available to me. I just really can't take those off. So yes, I won't be shooting that much in the near future.
I guess I'm saying, yeah, if you're not about to be shooting anyway, then why stock up on ammo just to have it sit there? Instead, save up and buy the stuff so when you can shoot, it's cheaper. I was going to say, though, if you're about to hit a time when you can go shoot for the next 3 months because you have all this time to do it, then you might as well just buy the ammo and start saving up the next time you're not able to get to the range.
And when you're talking about saving up, are you talking about saving up for ammo or get busy on the reloading gear?
I thought you said either buy ammo or use that money to save up for more gear.
Yes, that was definitely the question.
I know it's hard to concentrate with such a sexist rape image.
I don't even know what you're talking. What are you talking about?
Phallus dangling.
He's making fun of Moon's empty magazine.
Oh, well, it's because it's empty. It's impotent. You don't even have to worry about it.
That's a good point. If it was loaded, then that would be very
I feel like man unit is
all used
projection of sexism.
Ah.
It's all used up. It can be thrown away.
Do you have an ammo stock goal?
The goal is to have more than I do. Because literally, I just went because I thought I was going to have a range day, which got winded out with 50-mile-an-hour gusts, and I got hosed on it. But so I only had like 100 or so rounds of 357 on me, so I picked up like another 100. I had like 250 rounds of 45, so I didn't end up picking any extra of that. And then 308, I was literally down to a box of 20 of hunting ammo. So I went and bought another 100 rounds of that. And then my 223, 556, or just 556 actually, I got probably about maybe a little more than 400, and then the rest are in magazines. But so no, I don't have a lot of ammo to start with. But I don't kind of like G-Webs is pointing out, is I don't usually have a lot of range time to be able to go utilize all of it either. So the slow build is okay because I don't get to go very often. But as far as that, I'd love to have like minimum 1,000 to 1,500 of each caliber, and I think that I would like that to be the low end of what I have on hand because
I probably go shooting probably once every 2 months. But the way you're saying how much ammunition you have makes me sound like I'm a hoarder.
No, not at all, dude. Like I said, I got special rules to contend with out here. There's literally only one public range. It's the open day is only 3 days a month on specific days, and it's only open and operating during the time that I'm at work ready to start with. So there's already hoops that I got to jump through in order to be able to go have a range day anyway. Which
I see. Less freedom, I guess. I don't know what to say.
Well, in essence, or get a different job, move, all of those things. But so at this time, welcome to thegunchannels.com lobby chat. I just got to do what I got to do. It seems like. But yeah, I would like to have 1,000 to 1,500 minimum of each caliber that I own, because when the 2012-2013 thing happened, ammo dried up real bad out here. I know everybody else on the mainland had their own things to deal with as well, but if you can just extrapolate how dry it was for you guys there and times that like by 10, that was pretty much how dry shit was here. And if there was anything on the shelf, some of the places may or may not have raised their prices a little bit. Some literally only raised it a little bit, and some kind of gouged it a little. I don't mind a little bit because, yeah, you're a business. You got to make things work and everything like that, so I was totally understanding. It was the ones that wanted to double or triple the price that I hardly go to anymore to this day. But
they I don't want to say they hide it, but now I think it's pretty good, pretty easy to get ammo now, because there's like a ghetto Walmart that I go to, and there's a regular Walmart I go to, and the one I usually go to that's nice and all that, they don't have ammo that I need. But when I go to the ghetto one, it's all there for the taking. So I guess it just depends on where you go.
Oh, and Walmart out here does not sell ammo or firearms.
I know some Walmarts that sell muskets.
Yeah, the one on Maui is not one of those.
Oh man. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys get benefits that we don't. I don't know.
Your sunshine bikinis.
No, we got that in Florida.
Well then, nope, you're winning pretty much across the board. Except people, crazies can drive to your state. At least here they have to swim or fly here.
And zombies too, yeah.
Yep.
Well, you guys got volcanoes, so that's probably good.
Moon just showed his age.
Yeah, volcanoes, earthquakes, tsunamis, and hurricanes.
Welcome to the Wheel of Fire.
Not a lot of lag in this chat. In the text chat.
Is that a Georgia Glock?
And PBR, the way you kind of put it out there, that's kind of what I do. I only buy a couple of boxes of ammo from the local guys. Sometimes I'll buy a magazine, or I try and buy something every time I walk in. Just to keep them there.
And also, I try to buy more than I shoot, so I compile. You know what I mean?
Yes, well, that's hard because it's not cost effective here, because when I go shoot, dude, I'm gonna go from the morning into the afternoon, and I'm gonna go shoot some shit, man. Because it's a NRA type range, so there's range officers. You're shooting paper only.
Is it strict?
I
No
don't
rapid fire.
Well, I don't consider it strict because most of it's, I'm going to use the term common sense here. Most of it's common sense. You always keep the muzzle pointed down range. They don't really get on you for rapid fire as long as you are controlling the firearm in an appropriate manner. If you're trying to rapid fire and it's starting to get a little wobbly or a little fucking wiggly, yeah, they're going to say, hey. I've heard people complain out here about there's too many rules, they don't like it, and it's just because they have ego problems for the most part from what I've seen to deal with.
Ego problems? What?
The ones that are complaining about the range that we have here.
So
about, I don't want to go because I can't have somebody telling me what to do. Or so if I want a rotoscope or whatever, or just sometimes it's just some dumb shit that I hear come out of their mouths, and I'm like, well, I don't mind.
You should be glad you have a gun range.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I try and say.
So they, when you go shoot, you shoot everything you got. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying, dude. I bring the 357, the 308, the AR, and the 45, dude, and they're all gonna at least get 100 plus rounds through them easy. And I'm one of those guys where I don't load magazines full. I do either the 3 or the 5, just either so it's for the manipulation and or I'm trying to get decent groups, as opposed to just blam 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 blam. So if it opens at 8:30 and it closes at 1, and if I'm lucky enough to get a lane, I'm going to try and shoot for 4.5 hours.
I don't know.
You think?
I try not to shoot everything I have. And
well, and
I try to add more than I shoot. That way, I'm building.
Well, and that's part of my problem then too, is because if I'm only going to shoot, if I'm lucky, once a month. I think the last time I went and shot was about 2 months ago. Before that, it was an easy 4 months. What I've noticed that I'm not doing is I'm not picking up ammo on a regular basis. I'm literally, like the week before, I think I got the day off to be able to go, I'm making sure that I have enough. You know what I'm saying? So definitely should be picking it up more often.
So you don't stockpile 2 different piles, like range ammo and stockpile for STHF and stuff?
Oh, hell no. It's all one pile. Because in my mind, what I'm using at the range is what I would be using in a HT. Because I don't have...
Yeah, but if you don't have it, how do you...
Well, no, that's what I'm saying, is that one is going to be used for the other.
It's
like right now,
it's not like he can get cost-effective ammo where he's at.
That's the problem.
Okay, yeah, I got that.
I'd say just you gotta start budgeting your what you shoot. Like don't shoot as much as you have that way, and try to always add to.
Well, and that's the thing. I rarely shoot myself out of ammo. You know what I'm saying? I even when I go to the range and I bring my ammo cans and everything, I haven't once, except for the 308, because I didn't really have a lot of the 7.62 NATO to start with.
You're gonna have to start smelting.
Nah. Do you shoot to train, or do you shoot just for fun?
I shoot for fun and familiarity. There's no real training classes to be able to take out here. I would have to do that on the mainland.
No, I mean like training when you're shooting for accuracy. Because when I go to the range, I always shoot for accuracy, and that's enough fun for me. Like, oh man, this is fun. I can hit the bullseye over and over and over at 30 yards.
Well, that's what I was kind of saying. I do still shoot for fun, but I also shoot for familiarity with my firearm. And part of that fun is getting either a tight group or hitting the X or, something like that. So yes, I'm still practicing marksmanship in order to be a better shot, absolutely. but I derive so much fun from it. I don't get all bent out of shape if, you know, there's the flyer or my group is to the left by 3 inches, but it's still, you know, a 50-cent piece group. I'm like, I can freaking live with that.
Does anyone ever have too much ammo where they just try to go to the range and shoot it as much as you can because you just want to get rid of it, old ammo and get the new ammo?
I haven't had that problem, but I'm sure some other people may have, where they just got to go shoot out the old.
Haven't had to do that since the Army, but they would have to get rid of
It's
ammo.
like the box of cigars theory, isn't it, PBR?
Oh, man, you get to the point where it's not really that much fun anymore. It's just kind of work, and then you realize you have to clean this motherfucker, and it's going to take a long time to clean. So, I don't know. At first it was fun as shit, and then they kept bringing more ammo out, telling us we had to burn it all up so they could get more ammo.
I have so much.
To me, that would be fun, but I definitely hear where you're coming from. Where once it becomes work, then it kind of loses its luster.
Yeah, I have so much 22. I'm just trying to get rid of it. I'm just you know, just killing my firearms. I should stop.
Well, I don't know. That's what I would do, because I would not pay that kind of shipping. That shipping handling is ridiculous. I mean, then again, you're probably paying just as much by buying it one box at a time, but at least it doesn't feel that bad. Oh, he's gonna go smoke. Never mind.
Yeah. I'm still not gonna pay full price for ammo, even though I want to try to get rid of some. Hey, is it just me, or does it feel like doesn't matter if it's the same grain of ammo, but one's hollow point and one's FMJ? Does the hollow point feel like it kicks out more? I don't know if that's just me though. I like pears.
I think in the end, the most cost-effective way for me to have ammo out here is either buy in bulk and just eat a big chunk, or, and before I do that, get this, because I have a 550, it just doesn't have the dies and the conversion kits and stuff like that for the calibers that I have, so I got to get that stuff, right? And before I can even get going on it, I've been saving brass from the range, from what I use, for a while now. I got easily several hundred rounds of each in Ziploc bags ready to be cleaned and deprimed and this and that. But like, I don't have the scrubber thing, and I've bought some tools for reloading, like calipers and case measures and case tools and stuff like that I'm going to end up needing anyway. So really, the most cost effective in the end will be reloading ammo. And to start with, I do not think I'm going to be a smelter. I'll probably just buy the bullets to start with. The projectiles, excuse me.
I think we just figured out that Moon and I are Grandman's illegitimate children.
That is an interesting concept all on its own.
Well, we were born the same year, the same time he got married. He first got married. And he's calling us son, so it adds up to me.
Nice.
Yeah, I think you should.
He owes us some back child support.
You hear that, Dad? We want our money.
Just send it to him in 30-06 rounds, Grand. Make him work for it.
Oh man, this is too funny. Yeah, I don't. You have. I would never think that living in Hawaii would make it as difficult to actively be a sports shooter or just a fucking American to own a fucking gun.
Well, and also the funny thing is if I just shot shotgun, there's 2 or 3 places on island, and I could shoot twice a week after work. But that's not the same as
probably no lead, right?
No, that's not an issue.
Oh wow, really?
Yep.
I would have thought that they would have like a no lead rule on your island or some shit like that for sure.
I know one of the places has a no steel, but steel shot. But the one I like going to, it's reasonably priced. They even have lights to be able to shoot at night and everything. The guy is super cool. Like, he's just a regular dude. It's not, because they also have ones that, like, if you were, say, in the resort area or whatever, and you're trying to book an activity from the concierge, they're going to send you to 2 other different places as opposed to the Maui Trap and Skeet Club, I think is what it is. They're going to send you to the nicer ones where they pick you up in the shuttle van. You know, you're going to be shooting higher end shotguns for the rental, but also the cost is much higher than if I just bring my 12 gauge, and I can even just bring my own ammo. I don't even have to buy ammo from there. So again,
your own people.
Well, but like the thing is though, you can't shoot pistols or rifles or anything like that. So I mean, shooting clays is fun, but sometimes you just you want to shoot the other stuff.
Oh man, I feel your pain.
And the problem also, kind of like PBR is saying, is like the state or the people in the state haven't tried to mobilize enough in order to get these rules changed. You know, I mean, the carry law is kind of tied up with the Peruta and the Baker case, so we'll see how that pans out in the future about issuance of carry licenses. But that still
would that change for Hawaii if it went the way you wanted it to?
What would it change?
Yeah.
I don't know. What would it change? Self-defense, for sure, because technically self-defense when you're on...
Will it change? It won't change it from a may issue to a shall issue.
It could potentially, because the whole deal why it's kind of in court is that they're may issuance, but they don't issue. Like,
okay,
you know, the only one that can is like the police or the security guys that do like the bank stuff, the ATM guys.
Banks.
Yeah, like those guys, and that only is for while they're on the job, out doing the job. But as far as like a regular civilian, they pretty much don't issue them. And plus, the state law right now is the chief of police of each county is the only one that can issue it, and it's only good for each county that it's issued in. So, like, say I was able to get one for Maui County, it does not reciprocate if I go to Oahu or Big Island or Kauai.
What?
Yeah, it's specifically written that way in the law as well.
That's pretty stupid.
They need to change that to a state thing instead of a county thing.
Well, that's kind of one of the things that it's like Kealoha versus Baker or whatever, and it's the guy on Oahu that was refused issuance. I mean, they don't even make the paperwork for application readily available. It's that much fuckery out here.
They should like look at their own laws and then compare it to other states that have less restrictions and say, hey, if they can do it and they don't have that many problems, why can't we do it? You know?
Because this is a blue state, man. This ain't a red state.
Logic doesn't apply.
Pretty much. They will point to the fact erroneously that since they don't have issuance, just look at how little gun crime we have.
It's still a good argument. I mean, it's because Bloomberg controls the narrative on their side, that he's got his hands in everything anti-gun across the nation.
Well, and plus, like, the state of Hawaii has been blue for as long as I can remember, long before I ever moved here. We will occasionally get lucky and get a Republican or non-Democrat governor, but there's usually little support in the state house or state senate. So it's kind of like since an executive doesn't propose laws, you know, they sign them. Unless, I guess, they're doing executive orders, but that doesn't seem to fly around here as much as it does in D.C. And yes, Robbie, I will agree with you that shooting skeet under the lights is a lot of fun, for sure.
I just put thermals on and go hog hunting.
Well, that's the other thing. Yes, you can hunt hog out here, but it's only in certain areas, you know, or it has to be private land of such size that it has to be like away from neighbors of a certain amount, and it's just kind of, because you got to understand, man, like, what is it? Maui is 775 square miles or something like that. So, and it's got an elevation at the top of Haleakala of like just over 10,000 feet. So if you think about it, coming from 0 to 10,000 feet on the one side of the island, there's areas where it's not populated, but it's also sometimes like hard to get back up in there and stuff like that, and or it is somebody's land, and you know, they may go hunt deer and hog on their land, but that doesn't mean that I can just roll up with some Blaze Orange in my 308 and go, hey fellas, you know, it doesn't work like that. I mean, it's easy to get a hunting license and all sort of stuff like that. That's not a problem to get a hunting license.
Don't quote me on this, but it's not illegal if you don't get caught.
Yeah, but see, the problem is then, like out here, if you do get caught, well, then you no longer are allowed to be a legal gun owner anymore, and I'm just not willing to take that chance. For example,
yeah, that's why I say don't quote me on it.
If you get caught with an unregistered long arm, it's a misdemeanor. If you get caught with an unregistered handgun out here, it's a felony, and then that's it. That's done. You're done. So if for some reason you forgot to unload your pistol on the way home from the range and you got pulled over for some safety violation of some form, maybe your sticker was out, maybe, whatever. And I guess if you were dumb enough to, when they ask, do you have any firearms or anything that I need to know about, of course you would, if you forgot about it, you would think and you'd go, yes, I just came from the range. And I guess if the officer wanted to do his due diligence, he would check. And in that process, if you did forget to unload it, you're screwed, dude. I mean, you might be able to fight it in court, but think about how much money that's going to take. And there's no guarantee that you'll win because it's clearly defined in the law here what they're going to do to you.
Oh man, I hate the heat. I hate heat in general, but I do not want to move to Arizona.
Arizona, I liked Arizona anytime I visited there, and they are very pro Second Amendment there.
So are you looking to move, Island, or are you happy where you are?
If I move anywhere off the top of my head, it would probably be some combination Texas, Arizona, Nevada. More than likely, it would be in Texas because that's where I got a lot of good friends. Or, when I think about that, I think about living in Arizona just because they wrap themselves in that freedom blanket pretty well. And then I also have some family in Nevada.
Maybe you, Chris, and G-Webs can move in together, make some like buddy sitcom.
Oh, it'd be crackers for sure. You're terrible because it'd be hilarious. I think Chris would probably try and kill me at some point.
Oh man.
If I had to guess. I mean, I'm not Bob, don't get me wrong. But sometimes my brand of humor is only funny to me.
I don't know.
I've been occasionally known to go
where you do.
Poke.
I mean, you don't live in like New York or California, but I still commend you for
being like a wicked combination of Charlie's Angels, Bosom Buddies, and BJ and the Bear.
There you go.
Which one of you's wearing the dress?
I would just call in once in a while with a mission, and those two would have to dress like women and then like get their mission and go do it with a monkey.
After all, we've never seen G-Webs. I mean, he is that.
He could be Charlie.
He's the Charlie of gun channels.
That would be pretty entertaining.
See, cut right in. You want to do that whole thing.
We might have to get Chris some high blood pressure medication though, because he'd definitely be getting. I can just kind of see it sometimes.
Gotta throw in. What's that one with? Oh shit! What's the name of that one with Felix and Oscar? The Odd Couple.
Oh, The Odd Couple.
I don't think anybody really wants to see Chris or Island in a dress, so I mean.
Well, I'll speak for myself.
I think that it would be necessary to keep it a safe space for all gender identities.
Man, G-Webs is on a.
He's on a roll. He's like on butter. He's like butter. He's on a roll.
I'm just trying to be aware and sensitive.
Oh.
Yeah, but sometimes sensitive is just a Sandiva JJ. Sometimes.
Chat sensitivity training.
That could be a thing. That could definitely be a thing.
Bi-weekly Gun Channels University mandatory chat session.
Is it like the Breakfast Club where all the worst offenders go to
Saturday morning.
University just had
Oh, that'd be classic. That would be classic.
Welcome to the Breakfast Clubs. I don't know. Arizona's too hot. I'm thinking either Montana or Alaska.
Well, that's definitely the opposite of hot. But I was just hearing G-Webs tell me about how cold it was the other day. Like 2 days ago, I think he mentioned how chilly it was there.
Oh yeah, nobody wants to move here.
All right, you bastard. Just keep saying that. Just keep telling everybody that.
Porter.
And kind of back to the question of where I'd go. Like at first, I just assumed that Texas had some of the best gun laws like in the country, and come to find out, it was not so. But now it seems like they're trying to catch up a little bit, which is cool.
It's the exploits from those damn cowboy movies. It's freedom here. But no, a lot stricter than Arizona. Well, not too much. I'm just saying a lot more. I just need to find someplace cold. Hell, if it snowed in Arizona,
that's where I come from originally, is the land of ice and snow, and I ain't shoveling nothing anymore. That was the end of that.
Pennsylvania.
I don't know, man. Build tunnels.
Pennsylvania gets super cold in the wintertime, but
yes,
super hot in the summertime.
Hot and humid, yes?
Yeah.
And what's that I saw that your Philly mayor, dude, is crazy. I think he just did something today or yesterday. Is it? I think so.
What did he do?
He's talking about restricting gun rights again.
Oh, I didn't know he restricted them in the first place.
Let me see if I can Google something here.
Mayor Nutter.
Yeah.
He is a nutter.
And he is nuts.
You voted for a guy named Nutter?
No, he didn't vote for that guy.
He ain't my mayor anyway.
Right?
I live outside Philly.
The majority voted for a guy named Nutter?
Oh, here's what the crazy motherfucker said. I'll even share it here once it comes up. Okay, I don't know that he was restricting gun rights, as he was just talking crazy. So I'll share these, and we'll get to reading.
Why do I feel like I'm in Bible study before guns? What the hell?
Philadelphia's mayor on Monday called gun violence in American cities domestic terrorism that is no different from international terrorism. Mayor Michael Nutter said in a phone interview after a meeting with Attorney General Loretta Lynch, crazy bitch, and members of the U.S. Conference of Mayors in Washington that citizens want to feel safe no matter where they live. Domestic terrorism is international terrorism, Nutter said. There is really no level of distinction between the violence that goes on the streets of America on a daily basis and the episodic acts of international terrorism that also take place primarily in cities. Mayors from Washington, Baltimore, New Orleans, and Gary, Indiana also attended the previously scheduled meeting. All acknowledged the tragedy in Paris that killed 129 people and injured 350 others. Nutter noted that the first responders in any city, whether America or abroad, are local law enforcement and emergency workers. He defined domestic terrorists as criminals that threaten the health, safety, and welfare of Americans. And then he goes on to puke all over the place. Citizens around the world feel unsafe because of international terrorists. Those same feelings exist for many in American communities. These criminals are terrorizing our citizens, and the same level of fear of violence, the death of citizens, the destruction of property are the same. In many cities across the United States of America on a weekend, Chicago, you very well could have 6, 8, 10 people shot. He called for a stronger relationship between federal and local officials to address American violence with the same sense of urgency and priority given to global terrorism. Philadelphia has had more than 240 homicides this year. Baltimore hit the 300 mark for the first time since 1999. What he doesn't say
how many of them are firearms?
It's gang related or any of that.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But how many of them are firearms? Who says a hammer or a knife is not in there?
Well, no, and that's exactly the thing too. They do not. It doesn't say that they had 240 firearm homicides this year. It's that they had 240.
Well, I know, a decade ago, like 2005, they were number one with like 539 or something.
And then what? Concealed carry became more of a thing?
I don't know. I don't know what people do in Philly.
If it dropped because of concealed carry, that's a good thing.
Well, and that's the thing that they don't want to acknowledge.
Then they don't have a strong argument. He's just making a statement then. He's just saying, oh, this is how I feel. Well, guess what? Philadelphia might not feel the same.
Politicians do. They don't make arguments, they make statements.
Exactly.
Well, they're all cities run by Democrats. And most of the cities they're talking about were run by Democrats for the past 40 years.
And most of those cities, too, also have, like, Gary, Indiana, New Orleans. They have insanely bad gang violence.
Yep.
I mean, all those cities
New Orleans
are some of the worst offenders in the country.
Yep. I actually, all of them have been the murder capital at one point or another.
I haven't actually looked, man. You know if Philadelphia's grandfathered? Like, does my carry permit apply to Philadelphia?
What do you mean? Your PA one?
Yeah.
Yeah. You just can't. You can't. Well, you can. You're supposed to be able to open carry with your permit, but they'll stop you every time.
Do you have the option in Philadelphia to shoot the Liberty Bell so that you hear the ring of Liberty?
Yes.
Not on Tuesdays.
The real one or the fake, the replacement one?
I'd want to shoot the real one. I feel like I'd want to shoot the real one. I'd have to use a 9mm.
Put a bigger crack on it.
I'd use a 9mm, so there's no way it could ever hurt the bell.
Probably. Come test it.
I'm just saying.
Oh, no, as Americans.
At it as like a Liberty ring.
Everybody start watching their news feed for man shoots Liberty Bell and is arrested, and we'll all get to see what G-Webs looks like.
Just stick
I'm just
one
trying
phone.
to talk somebody else into doing it. I'm not gonna walk all over there and do it.
Yeah,
right?
You
There you
got
go.
the Charlie's Angels, Chris and Island. I mean, there you go. There's their first mission.
Yep, it's just like that one guy, Nicolas Cage, how he has to run around. Find a bunch of clues over there.
National treasure.
Oh, national treasure. All right.
You got to shoot the Liberty Bell.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Sup?
We missed you.
I know you didn't miss me at all, but thank you for at least lying.
That's what I'm good at.
Can I rub your belly for good luck?
Whoa, what?
Whoa, uncomfortable. Not my safe space.
Okay, so I finally got his name right. It's Nguyen. That's how they pronounce it in Vietnamese.
I thought it was Win.
Well,
Yeah,
it does mean
pronounce
Nguyen.
it.
Yeah, but it's Nguyen. Because I've seen that name before, and it's a common Vietnamese name. So.
Yeah, there's different pronunciations for it, but I like sticking to Win because I'm a winner.
Yeah, the northern Vietnamese pronounce it different than the southern Vietnamese. Figure that one out.
I don't know. People, I get Nugent, I get Nguyen, I get a whole bunch of different other ones. I'm just like, those sound so weird. I just like sticking to Win.
Yeah, well, I looked it up, so I didn't sound like an ass when I talked to you.
The first time I learned it was
you can call me whatever you want. I'll just politically correct you again.
one of the guys that I remembered playing football and basketball with in school. His name was Hung Win, and it was spelled that way. So that's how I always knew how to pronounce it.
Yeah, well,
That was a long time ago.
I don't care if I offend you or if I don't sound politically correct. You can correct me all you want. I don't give a damn. I'm going to continue on doing it because
I don't judge. I won't judge you.
Either do it and offend people, or be a wimp, be a wuss, don't offend anyone, and live your life how other people should decide it should be lived.
Well, it's not really offensive if you don't know.
If you get offended by your name being mispronounced, you're just an asshole. I mean.
Well, wait a minute. What if you're the cocksucker that's mispronouncing it on purpose?
Well, then then that person's the asshole.
Okay,
But you got it, like, if somebody's like
right
calling your name right? To, like, your table's ready at fucking a restaurant, they're not, that lady's
like,
just not trying to be a fucking.
Yeah, they're not doing it on purpose.
Like if I'm at the hospital and they call for my name, they don't say it correctly. I don't like correct them, I'm just like, oh, that's probably me. So yeah, I mean, you can say it all you want, but if you ask for the correct term, I'll tell you. But if you don't care, I'll just like, oh, cool, he's probably talking to me.
Well, I looked it up, so I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, dude, you can call me whatever you want. You can call me Doughboy if you wanted to. I don't care.
Whoa.
Did I see fuckers writing these things? Well, mostly like shitbag college students, but.
What are you talking about?
Oh. I wish I could.
I guess Bobby Jindal dropped out of the race to find those missing, refugees that are already missing from when they just got dropped off the other day.
Gee, they're not up to any trouble whatsoever, right?
Well, I think that's why Jindal dropped out of the race. He's got to be governor.
Who is that guy? Which governor?
Bobby Jindal, Louisiana. Oh. He is kind of a kook and a nut, but
dude, he's like a fucking Bond villain.
He was going for the the Republican nomination.
He's like a minor Bond villain, dude. Seriously.
I wouldn't disagree with that. That's a relatively
I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's probably a nice guy, but his like demeanor and his weird accent is like. Just reminds me of a weird Bond.
Well, he was the guy at that last debate that was trying to throw the other candidates kind of under the bus a little bit. Like at any given turn, he was trying to point at the other Republicans, and he wasn't really pointing at the Democrats. And he just, well, what I did and none of you guys have done, and I think that was on the undercard debate, which I actually thought was really good last time.
Well, he's probably better than John Kasich. This is what I did for Ohio.
It was along those lines. You were saying something, G? Or no, that's okay.
At least when those guys say it, they bring it to the national debate. So if it's got any backers or support, then the other candidates can pick it up or not.
Right.
Shit caught on fire.
Oh man, I kind of live near a large college, unfortunately. Not near it. It's not close. It's close enough to keep them out of my hair, or it's close enough to. I know they're near, but they're not like that near. But anyway,
you got I see naked people biking in your town, dude.
Whatever, dude. I don't care about bicyclists. But I see fucking shitbag like college students like rocking down the fucking sidewalk on these so-called hoverboards. And every fucking time, I just want to like stick my fucking foot out.
Oh, you're a community supporter.
They're never cool about it. They're not like out
they call them hoverboards, but they're not really hoverboards.
Yeah, and that's that right there. That like every time I see one, I'm like, that's not a fucking hoverboard, you shitbag.
The hoverboard that one guy is trying to create using magnets is more of a hoverboard than those things.
That's a segue for assholes. Or other assholes, younger assholes.
No, that's a segue for cheap assholes.
Yeah,
I don't know that hoverboard ain't cheap, is it?
No, it's not that cheap, but it's cheaper than a Segway.
Oh.
Segways are fucking expensive.
You know, but here's the thing. With the Segway, at least there's something to hold on to. But with those things, you know, you can't hold on to anything but the seat of your pants.
See, and I was thinking if we could make a slightly smaller model, we need to get the gun channels one and get it to Good Guy. Because I definitely think that he would utilize that at the range. He'd utilize it at Walmart. He'd utilize it at any given turn that he could. He'd probably have it on a little trailer and tow it behind his hybrid.
What kind of hybrid does he have?
Segway for $1,000.
What? That's all they cost now?
They used to be
on
way more
eBay.
expensive.
Yeah, wow.
They used to be a couple thousand, didn't they?
That's
Oh
what I
no!
thought. Uh-oh, what's the matter?
Val Kilmer confirms he's back for Top Gun 2.
Yeah, but you notice how he confirmed it. Nobody else did.
Yeah.
I like Val Kilmer, man.
I don't have much of a problem with him other than he's a little nutty.
Fucking, they all are.
They do. I did see that James Woods was calling motherfuckers out again the other day.
So you have a nut job too?
Well, he's James Woods, so he is kind of nuts, but at least he's pro Second Amendment.
Oh, is he? That's cool.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
They have like these off-road Segways for $400.
Off-road.
With like knobby tires or whatever on there, that'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Off-road tires for
See, then
Segways.
her guy could take it to the range.
Dude, that just sounds like a really good way to bust your fucking ass, man.
So what? You do it
You
heavy.
better wear a
It
full
does.
face helmet.
On a Segway, you don't have to worry about it falling off a Segway.
I've seen people fall
I've
off
seen
Segways.
people. Yeah.
There are Segway tours in this god awful city I live in, and I saw a lady bite it. Like,
Just keep your knee pads on, PBR.
Remember to wear a helmet.
We have
I don't-
Segway tours here as well.
I don't know where that joke was going there, man.
It is kind of gross. Unless you're trying to make a little extra money, and then we don't judge.
Well, Moon must be subscribed to my channel. If he knows I'm wearing knee pads 24 hours a day. Ew.
Heyo.
Hilarious.
Oh boy. Dead Horse mentioned something about why did Obama ban pork products in federal prisons? Serious question. He banned pork products 1 month ago, like bacon, pork chops, etc. Does he expect maybe a rise in the Muslim prison population?
Well, there's already a certain percentage that is Muslim in the nation's prison system already, and most of the time,
I'd give them nothing but pork and let them starve if they don't eat it.
Well, most of the time, here's the thing: it's a conversion in prison is the majority of the percentage.
Prisoners should eat them black bricks from that train movie.
No, what did No say?
Train movie.
No said that we need to have the prisoners eat Soylent Green.
Oh man, there is an actual
protein bricks.
There is an actual food stuff out there now, and it's not called Soylent Green, but it is called Soylent.
Yeah, because you can get arrested for it.
What?
Well, not arrested, but
there's an actual.
So you want to eat just the basic nutrients to stay alive or whatever. That's what you can eat. So you don't have to worry.
Food replacement or whatever. Let me see here.
Are you talking about that fucking tube-grown meat shit?
No, just a mix of all the stuff that's like necessary for your body to work. If you get sick of eating regular food all the time and you just want to eat like the minimum amount to stay alive, that's what that stuff is.
There you go.
Then you don't have to worry about choices like different kinds of foods and everything. You can just make a shake every morning and
It's like the
survive.
ultimate commie food.
Exactly. Redistribute calories, comrade.
But I would think that they would try and stay away from that because people are going to say that it's people. Soylent Green is people. Isn't that what Charlton Heston said?
Well, I'm sure that's what their marketing is, though. Like, that's what you need. Everything you need right there.
And that's their website right there. There's a drink, there's a powder. It's kind of doo-doo brownish. Actually, it doesn't look that bad. And yeah, when it's got brown rice protein, oat flour, sunflower oil, and vitamins and minerals, yeah, it's pretty much got just what you need and nothing extra.
It sounds like you would, I don't know. I heard stories about vegans and stuff like that they get pretty fucked up. Vegan. They get pretty fucked up just from their diet.
Oh yeah.
My best friend's been vegan ever since I met him.
It depends on if they're able to keep their level of protein up through whether it's like nuts or broccoli or whatever, you know. That's one of the main shortfalls usually in the vegan diet is a protein shortage, not necessarily vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, sometimes they'll get like too much of a vitamin or a mineral.
To a couple of billion people, they have trouble with their protein. That's why it's not working for them.
I don't know. Most of the vegans I know aren't unhealthy because their diet. They're unhealthy because they fucking eat a lot of sugar.
Everybody you guys know is unhealthy.
I would have to say the majority of people that I know are unhealthy, but I do know still a bunch of healthy people. Smoothies and all that kind of stuff, and vegan and vegetarian's pretty big out here.
Well, come on, you know, you got to admit a good smoothie, and I don't mean like a vegan smoothie. I mean, a regular smoothie isn't bad.
No, but it's not the health elixir that everybody thinks it is. It's still
that's the point.
Treat, you know, it's a treat.
It's a treat. It's like a milkshake, more or less, but with vegetables or fruit, depending on which one you got. Because, you know, what's one of the best places that does smoothies? Orange Julius? You ever hear of one of those?
Yes. We don't have any more on the island.
I don't think those are considered healthy.
Well, it's not. I'm not saying they're healthy. I'm just saying they're like one of the biggest, you know, places you can go to get a smoothie.
Do you guys
have one in every mall?
Do you have Jamba Juice out where you guys are at?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know if they have them here, but they have them where I used to live.
And we used to have Orange Julius, but we do not anymore. It was at the mall. It couldn't right across from the Sears.
I don't know. I don't think Orange Julius actually has real fruit in it, does it?
Well, it had real orange, at least.
It was the color orange. I don't think that's a fruit, though.
So what did I miss while I was gone?
The dilemma of ammo.
What, are they trying to ban ammo, or?
No, just if you live in a geographically isolated area where it's troublesome to get ammo to you, sometimes you weigh the cost of ammo prices and shipping to the one or two places that will actually ship it to you, or you consider buying it where you live at an inflated price, and or then you just get up off your ass and try and get reloading.
Yeah, well, you have to realize that while I guess the gun stores, what little gun stores you have there in Hawaii, they buy probably the ammo mostly in bulk, but they probably pay the same price as you would online anyways. Then they mark it up so they make a profit. But, you know, you can pay what they pay and order online if you can find someone that'll ship it to you.
Yep. And they probably get it a little cheaper, but at the same time, yeah, the shipping cost is still going to be exorbitant.
I'll be honest, I've looked at it, and, you know, I'm looking at getting my FFL, and it's the only amount of money that they actually save on it is they probably get anywhere between 5 or 10 cents cheaper per round when they buy it in bulk than you would if you just ordered online. You know, because I've actually been looking at it. Later, PBR.
So I think that was what dominated the conversation while you were gone for the most part.
So did you strike up an order, or are you still holding out?
Did I what?
Did you strike up an order for that ammo, or are you still holding out?
No. I had it in the cart, and then I emptied the cart.
So
I'm not ready. Yeah. Basically, what I need to do is I've already seen some ads for Dylan and Christmas, so I'm kind of hoping they have a sale. And if they don't have a sale, I just need to bite the bullet and call them and get some of the stuff that I need to get going.
Yeah, because Black Friday's coming around, and I'm sure, even the local gun shop here in my town, the one I don't like to go to, even they do Black Friday deals just to get people in the door.
Right.
And they have it in the local paper, and I don't go to them because the guy who owns it is a dick.
Well, then there's that. I'd have to say that what is it? Like I have literally one that's right around the corner, but they do kind of jack up their prices. But the chick that works there is hot, so sometimes you just go in and shoot the shit and buy some targets.
You go in there to oogle.
Well, I mean, she's married with children and all that kind of, so it's not like there's any real wiggle room there. But
hey,
literally,
man,
that one is.
It doesn't hurt to look, right?
That one is literally around the corner from where I live. And then everything else is pretty much in town. And there's probably at least 3 or 4 shops in town.
Yeah, but all the people I know in town have told me don't go to the gun store. It's in town. If you want to buy a gun or you need something specific, go to the pawn shop that does guns.
Wow.
Just down the street from me, and he'll give you a better deal. Just flat out.
Wow, because that's not usually the case.
No, there used to be like 3 or 4 gun shops in town.
No, I meant the pawn shop being the cheapest. That's not always the case.
Yeah. Well, it depends on it. It usually depends on whether he's in the business to just make money and completely steal from everyone, or if he's actually trying to be a honest, responsible businessman. A salesman.
Well, people go into business to make money, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, they go into business to make money, but he can probably get a better deal than the local gun shop guy.
Well, especially on used firearms, if he's not pawning it out for a large amount to start with, then when he goes to resell the pawned item, well, then that's where he's going to make his fucking action.
I really wish I could have gotten that Krag that he had in there, because he was selling a Krag for a friend of his, and I really wish I could have gotten that Krag rifle. Even if it was sporterized, it did come with like 500 rounds of ammunition.
Nice.
Hello, ladies. What I miss?
But the guy wanted what, $600 for it?
For Craig Jorgensen, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're talking about.
Yeah. What was it? The Springfield model 1899.
And he wanted 6. Did you say?
600. Yeah.
Depending on the shape, that.
It was sporterized, so that's probably why.
Oh, well, shoot.
Though let's be honest.
Now, when you say sporterized, do you mean bubbud or what?
No, when I say sporterized, basically what a lot of people did is when they got those surplus Krag rifles, they cut the stock down to, to make it lighter to carry, more or less. So it was one of the where they cut the stock. So it's not an original. It's not the full stock anymore, because if you do a YouTube, not a YouTube, a Google search, you can see the Krag. And you see it's got that full-length rifle stock. Well, I think it's like most of the barrel. But in sporterized ones, they cut like half of that off and remove one of the rings because it's lighter to carry. And they did that. They did that back in because they got those rifles surplus. They surplused them out back in the 30s or 40s, I think. I'm not too sure on the date, so don't peg me if I get them wrong. But they did that, and nearly any Krag rifle you can find in the United States today, it'll be very hard to find one in original condition, or just with the original stock and everything, and a non-sporterized version. And those generally go for at least $1,000. You know, if you can find one that works, at least $1,000, maybe more depending on the condition. You know, whether it's been really taken care of or if it's just, you know, a farmer's buddy. You know, but it was the one I saw. It was more of a shooting rifle, and not you hang that on your mantelpiece. So it is seen somewhere. And it was an actual 1899 one, because the guy did have an authentic certificate with it, so it was a model 1899.
That's kind of cool.
But it was a shooter, so, you know, honestly, if I got a Krag rifle, I'd want to shoot it myself.
See, and that's kind of my thing. Like, I don't have any non-shooters yet. You know what I mean?
You know? And I know G-Web's told me wait until you get more guns and then say that. But, you know, if I'm going to buy a gun, I want a gun to shoot. I want it to be able to shoot. I may not shoot it all the time, but I want it to be able to shoot regardless. You know.
Well, and plus it also depends if you get a screaming deal on one that isn't in full working order, and then of course that can always be the mantle bearer.
Yeah, or, you know, maybe it just needs some work and you don't want to fix it right away. You know, just put it on the mantle for a while. You can fix it if you want. You know, depending on how old it is, though, it might ruin the value. But here's the thing: yes, you'll ruin the value if you repair a broken gun to a working condition. But at the same time, are you really? It depends on whether you're concerned about the value of the gun, or if you're just concerned whether you want to use the gun or not. You know, that's where it really comes down to. Some people are, you know, I don't know.
Well, why do you value that gun then? So what you're not only doing is devaluing your property, you're also taking everybody else who's got one of them that is unfired, and you've made theirs more valuable, sometimes by many-fold.
Sometimes.
Taking one of a rare gun out of commission. So
but it depends on how rare.
I think there's a level of douchebaggery to shooting a collectible gun, because you're taking that out of the gene pool for your descendants and their descendants. There can only be so many of those, and if a gun's lasted long enough to be new in the box, like while all its peers are not, then again there can only be so many of those. So I just watched the thing about those ZZ Top beard having guys who do reviews, and they're all bragging about how they took some 38-year-old gun out and shot it for the first time, like it's never been shot. And I'm like, I can't understand how that could be enjoyable to somebody. Owning something that's never been shot is a thing. It's a thing to do. To have shot it, you've just ruined it. Now it's just another gun, and it's just another tool, and you've taken that not only off the shelf of your own property, but basically off the shelf of everybody who might possibly ever be interested in such a thing.
It's crazy to shoot an unfired old gun, dude. Like, you might as well sell the thing and buy like 3 that have been fired before and shoot those, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
But what do you mean?
But if I have a gun, or if I get an older gun that has been fired, I want it to fire. You know, if I want a mantelpiece, I'll get a mantelpiece. Okay, you know, I understand that some guns should not be fired, like say like an original musket that shouldn't be fired. Period. Because it's pretty damn old. So that's a mantelpiece right there. But, you know, if I wanted one that worked, I'd get a reproduction, or I'd buy, you know, one that wasn't made too long ago that does work. You know, but if I'm going to buy a gun, I'd like at least right now, for me, I'd like to buy one that I can use.
So
and that's all I'm trying to say.
The history of the firearm is what makes it valuable, right? Even if it doesn't work, but
more or less.
Yeah. So why wouldn't somebody want an old gun to fire? That would be awesome sight to see. That should be worth more than an old gun that, you know, you can't fire or fix. That's stupid. I don't like that mentality.
You don't like the mentality of allowing property to obtain value? Then let's all just be communist, and then nothing matters. There's no reason to listen to history because everything is a spoon or a fork.
He's getting G-Webs, you're getting a little too riled up. That's not what he's saying at all.
Well, if guys are going to say that everything you buy immediately has to be shot, I understand it. I mean, I guess I was probably like that a million years ago.
No, but
too.
Wouldn't you want to see it shot?
No, that's ridiculous. It's that stupid ass. What's that stupid show that was on with the pawn shop where they insist on if a thing shoots that it's more valuable? I think that's where people get that concept. That's not a concept. That's not a thing. If you start to actually look at used firearms and old collectible firearms, whether or not they're ever been shot, it has nothing to do with it. No one thinks that a John Wayne Colt 1 of 300 or whatever they were, no one cares if that works as a gun. They all know, they're comfortable in the knowledge that a Colt coming off the line, the last 300 of the runs, are going to work just fine. Everyone appreciates that you don't go out and shoot that thing, or at least if you've got one that's unfired, it's downright rude to just go out and shoot it. Those aren't made for that. And
yeah, I kind of see what you're saying. You're going to risk messing it up.
That's fine. Then go take the Mona Lisa, spend a lot of money on it, and trash it, burn it or something, because that's all you're saying is that no property is worth having appreciation for.
I see your point. Yeah. I mean, if you fired it and
no one's suggesting don't go buy a lever action. Don't go buy an old one. But just like you said, go buy one that's. Go buy 3 or 4 that are what you're actually wanting, and leave that unfired one for the generations to come and for the museums that they'll eventually end up in. But damn, taking an unfired gun off the list, that's like shooting a full auto until it's destroyed. Just for the sake of doing it.
Well, I'm not saying take a historical piece and just go out and shoot it. I'm saying if I bought a gun, if it was I would probably buy a reproduction piece that can be fired and use one of those, because those aren't going to be, while they do have some value, they're not going to be as valuable as the historical originals. Okay.
You can get old stuff that's still shootable too. I mean, that isn't like valuable as a non-shooter too. I mean, like we've got a 130-year-old Winchester Model 94, but the barrel's been replaced, and my great grandma cut the back of the stock off and put a recoil pad on it and shit like that. So it has absolutely no collectible value. It's just a cool old gun that you can still go and shoot. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. I think if you want something to shoot, you know what I'm saying? That's old, because I mean old stuff is awesome.
That's probably what I was thinking about, not really thinking about deeper historical stuff, but like what you just said, yeah, something that's old that doesn't have value, that you can just fire if it works. Yeah, I guess that's what I was probably thinking.
I guess it's 120, not 130. I can't do math. Never mind. 1898, however old that makes it. Yeah. 118. Yeah. Maybe something like that.
Yeah. All right. Let's start a new discussion. Change the subject.
Pie. Pie's awesome. Give me some pie.
Guns.
Dude,
and pie.
I was gonna say pie.
Guns and pie. Okay. Your thoughts?
Well,
I was like, what if pumpkin pie had like pecans in it?
All right. I am partial to blueberry, cherry, pumpkin, and apple pie. What about you guys?
Pecan and apple for me.
Homemade or store manufactured big giant?
Don't even go to the store manufactured pies, man. That's like the Antichrist.
No, I went to high school in Kentucky, and I gotta say that you've never had pie until you've had Derby pie.
I guess I never had pie.
Derby pie is really good.
Dirty pie?
Derby, as in the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
You know Churchill Downs. I'm sure you've heard of it at least once.
Maybe once. I live near the Philadelphia racetrack.
Maybe once.
I live near the football stadium, so.
Which one?
The Dolphin Stadium.
Wow, you're way down then, aren't you? You're further south than I am.
What are you trying to figure where I live?
Well, the Dolphins are in Miami, aren't they?
Yeah.
There you go.
Who said I live in Miami, though?
You're the one who's saying it. Anyways, what other types of pie are good?
I don't know. There's so many classics. I kind of just want to mix them up and test them out.
There's always blood pie.
That's an acquired taste.
You know, I've never had it.
Oh, what was it? What did you say? Blood pie? What the heck?
Yeah, like what's the technical term for it?
We have blood cakes. Vietnamese people make blood cakes, or we eat blood cakes, but we don't eat blood pie. I don't know the hell blood pie is. I mean, blood cake is basically just pork blood that's been cooked.
That's disgusting.
It's not really. It's kind of like the texture of what's it? Tofu, I guess. But well, not squishy, but a lot more texture.
I'm sure that
and it doesn't really have a taste to it. It really doesn't have a taste to it. There's no iron kind of taste, nothing. It's just plain.
I made my friend eat blood and tongue loaf in the grocery store.
Bleh.
What do you owe you? A lot of money?
Dude, tongue has a purpose. Tongue is for bait and traps. It's not for human consumption. That's my opinion on the subject.
Go to the.
I wanted him to test it. I wasn't gonna eat it.
You go to the meat section where they're selling tongue just for bait.
Blood and tongue loaf is like this gelatinized blood loaf with like bits of tongue in it.
I'm feeling like physically ill now.
It kind of sounds like that one sausage, blood sausage. I don't know what they call it.
Head cheese.
What?
And my granddad used to eat head cheese all the time, and it was the most disgusting thing ever. You know, like he'd like boil squirrel heads and then like crack them open and eat the brains out and shit. Nasty.
That'll give you rabies.
Scrape everything off the skull into a sausage and then eat it.
Oh man. You know, Vietnamese people, they have a delicacy. You guys ever tried those duck eggs?
Nope.
I've had duck
The
eggs
one with-
baked into a cake, but I've never actually had like a fried duck egg or whatever.
Well, that's where you take a
Like-
fertilized duck egg that it doesn't hatch, and then it's pickled or fermented or something.
No, not those. Not those. I'm talking about like the ones that like the same process, but you boil them, and you know there's the the baby chicken side or duck inside, and the yolk is already developed and their stuff. It's pretty good, I guess.
It's like eating a tiny fried chicken inside of an omelet.
Yeah, but it's boiled, not fried. Well,
And then,
you know what?
and then there's the Civic coffee as well. You know, it's from that tree cat that eats those coffee beans.
Oh shit! Don't even go there, dude.
I had to.
I never had that, but if I did, they probably didn't tell me.
And shit is the actual key word there.
Well, it's still coffee beans. It's just not digested. That's all.
I wouldn't drink that coffee. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but if I gave it to you and I didn't tell you what it was, I'm pretty sure you'd like it. But I'm saying I never had it.
It's still coffee. It's just coffee with a bunch of animal poop in it.
Yeah, and that makes it all better, right?
Well, not in it, but, you know, around it.
Yeah.
If it looks like a Snickers, but it smells like a turd, are you going to eat it?
Depends on how much I'm getting paid.
Oh man, you should probably go to Fear Factor and Hell, have you ever gone out to a survival camp? Do a survival camp for a few days. They'll probably teach you to eat some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stick to eating this lettuce instead of grubs. So.
Yeah, the rattlesnake chili was pretty good.
Rattlesnake fucking rocks, man.
Rattlesnake chili is the best.
Back at my old job, we went to work on one of the telephone lines, you know, and had to climb a pole, and we carried the ladder up to the pole, and there was a fucking rattlesnake curled up at the bottom of the pole, and the son of a bitch would not move, and so I started throwing little pebbles at him, you know, to try to get him to go the hell away, and he started like slithering at me, and I was like, what the fuck? So I shot him, and threw him into my hard hat. And we took him back to the office, and I laid him out over an old propane tank behind the office there to let the blood drain out, because we had this George Foreman grill in the kitchen. We were going to try to skin him and cook him in the George Foreman grill for lunch. So I laid him out over that propane tank, and a fucking hawk came and like grabbed him and flew off with him.
Oh man, snake crackling. Woo.
Yeah,
so I guess that hawk was more of a snake than you.
I guess. Stupid hawks. There are too many hawks now. They need to take them off of the like protected list and reclassify them as varmints and let us shoot them again, because they eat all the like tasty food. You know what I'm saying? Eat all the snakes and all the rabbits and all the squirrels and everything else.
And all the roadkill.
I thought they were on the pest list.
No, that's what the buzzards are for. No, the hawks, man. You can't shoot hawks. You'll go to prison for that shit.
Oh, that's hawks. I thought you said hogs.
No, hawks. Hawks. As in, that sounded more like a chicken or something. Never mind.
Yeah, but aren't they like nature's cleanup crew or something?
No, that's what buzzards are for, man. Hawks just eat fucking rabbits and shit that people want to eat. And overpopulated, at least here. I don't know. Maybe they're still rare other places, but they're fucking all over the place here, and it's really annoying. They have definitely recovered from the DDT thing back in the 80s, that's for sure.
Wolves' population is going up too, and they just attack everything.
That's another fucking rant I've got. We spent, how many years did we spend wiping those motherfuckers out, and now they're trying to reintroduce them? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
why do we need to reintroduce them when we let coyotes run rampant all over the place? You know, the coyotes took over their job. We don't need to reintroduce them. I'm not kidding on that either.
I know, I'm right there with you, man. Fuck coyotes, too.
I never had a coyote problem, so I don't know.
Coyotes are just as bad as wolves, but coyotes originate from like the desert areas like Texas, Arizona, and Mexico. You know, those areas.
Yeah. Chupacabra.
No, that's Puerto Rico, my friend.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure chupacabra is like a coyote, I guess.
Yeah, it's a mangy coyote in Puerto Rico.
Coyote's a coyote.
They have a bounty on him here. It's like $20 per set of ears or something like that. I suck at calling them though.
They're paying people to kill coyotes?
Yes,
oh, shit, yeah.
Eastern coyotes are hybrids, but the quail wolf is nothing.
They have a big contest every year and give like $500 to the kid that kills the biggest coyote.
Now, is there a limitation, or you can just go blast them?
Nah, it's open season all year round, but there are only certain times a year that you can hunt them at night with spotlights.
Well, I'm not gonna hunt them at night. I don't want to get attacked. Well, and coyotes, they're not in packs, right? So I guess they're.
I've seen like 2 hunting together, but they don't run in like big packs like wolves do now.
Yeah, so yeah, they're a lot easier.
But it's not uncommon to see 1 or 2 of them together, though.
I mean, I get the wolves thing, but coyotes, they're running in 1 or 2. I mean, that's like picking them off easily.
See, even feral dogs will form packs as well. So it's not particularly just a wolf trait. It's just it's more of a canine trait.
Well, a canine's a dog is a domestic wolf. So.
A wolf isn't domestic though. And I said like feral or like wild.
Goddamn coons!
Here's another annoying pest. We've been setting leg hold traps for him in the silage pile, but keep catching skunks instead of coons. Aggravating.
Hey, it keeps my head warm.
I would not want a skunk head, a skunk skin hat. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, I keep thinking about trying to tan some of the skunks and make a hat out of them, just so I'll have like a hat reminiscent of my namesake. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why wouldn't you want one, dude?
Wear that fucking thing in my YouTube videos or something. Hell yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't want one. It's not like they smell.
I'd be afraid of like nicking the wrong thing trying to skin him, and, like,
spraying yourself.
He pops the sack that smells on accident.
Yeah, I'd have trouble living with myself for a while after doing something like that, I guess. I had one spray underneath of my house one time, and that was bad enough, but getting it actually on me would be, yeah, no thanks.
Be one with nature, man. No, I'm just kidding. Don't get sprayed.
They say that skunks make real good pets, though, if you get them descented. Kind of like cats.
Oh, you mean like ferrets?
I can see that. Yeah, they probably would be more like ferrets than a cat.
Apparently they'll like curl up in your lap and like just be like all kind of hanging out and stuff, but it's illegal to like use the wild ones. The only ones you can keep as pets are the domesticated ones, and they've been so fucking inbred to turn them into like the fancy fruity skunks. You know what I'm saying? That they're all like all fucked up and like unhealthy and stuff now. So that kind of sucks. But I don't know how you would descent one yourself because the vets won't do it. Though, like if you were to catch a wild one when it was little or something like that.
It's probably because it causes pain to the animal or something.
I like ferrets. They're like otters, but out of the water.
I had a buddy
have
in
a
high
cat.
school
That's
that
enough for
used
me.
to. He had like a cage full of ferrets, and he'd like turn them into groundhog holes and shit, and chase the groundhogs out with them and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. Hunted rabbits with him too.
That's good eating.
We don't have very many around here anymore. I guess they're getting back to the hawks. The fucking hawks ate all of them, I guess. I don't know.
What else is a problem? What else is a pest problem?
We had pest problems with bears for a little while, but they're not as overpopulated as they were at one point. But there for a while, they were getting into everybody's garbage and shit like that. Then they like extended the bear season, and that kind of took care of it.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm man enough to go hunt a bear.
As long as you're not someplace where the bears have gotten like used to not being hunted and aren't afraid of people anymore, you're fine. They won't hurt you. They'll just run away, unless they're like shitty like suburban tame bears or some shit.
Yeah, most those ones that just run away. All you have to do is just like scare
them. Nah, unless you fuck with some Sal's cubs or like corner them somewhere, they won't hurt you.
Yeah, some of them aren't afraid to die, so they'll try to eat you. Let's see, nutrients not a big thing.
We're allowed to hunt them with hounds in West Virginia, which is pretty awesome. I feel sorry for the people that aren't allowed to hunt with hounds, because there are a few things more fun than hunting with hounds. You know what I'm saying? Just like, hell yeah. Makes your
duck hunting.
You know what I mean?
Traditional duck hunting, where you use the dog.
Yeah, but that would require having a lab, and I have to say that I cannot stand labs.
I love labs. I had one. I had two, actually. But, you know, unlike all dogs, and like every living thing, they get old. Now, don't believe me? Just look in a mirror.
What are you talking about? I'm still 16. I wish. No, actually,
right.
I wouldn't want to go back to that age.
You're still in your 30s, right?
Yeah, just barely. Soon I won't be, and that'll suck. But no.
And then I have to make fun of you.
I'm still 24. Yeah.
Right, right.
For like
age is just a number, guys.
Yeah, I'm still 22, right? No.
You can be as old as you want. You can be as young as you want. Age is just a number. It's just how you live your life.
And it's also about how much it hurts when you try to pick things up, and how hard it is to stand up after you've been sitting.
Or whether your joints hurt when it rains.
Yeah. Well, we don't have to worry about that yet, right?
Right.
And how much beer you can drink before you get fat too. That's the worst part of it. Trying not to be fat. It's I can't.
Hell, if you're happy being fat, go ahead.
I don't like it, because then I can't like work as hard.
Buckle your pants.
My pants fit and shit like that. It sucks, man. Beer belly.
Hey man, you know, everybody loves Santa Claus, man.
I guess the solution would be to not drink beer, but that's no solution, you know.
Yeah, just live your life. I don't care. Doesn't matter, just as long as you're happy. You know, they say snakeheads are infesting Florida, but I have never seen one yet.
Snakeheads? What about the rest of the snake? It's just the heads that are infesting Florida? What?
Snakeheads, you know, I've never seen one yet. The ones that that crawl out of the water, eat your dogs, and then swim back in, swim back in the water.
no idea what you're talking about.
You never seen a snakehead before? I mean, I see them in documentaries. But
I mean, I've seen a snakehead attached to a snake, but never the head by itself eating dogs or some shit.
No, it's a particular fish that swims out of the water.
Oh, okay. Fish. A walking fish, you say? What?
Yeah, it uses its fins to like wobble and walk on. It can breathe air.
No, you're just fucking with me. That's crazy.
No, it's like a black sucker fish. It has teeth like.
I have fucking nightmares about this, dude.
Dude, they come out of the water. They can't. They're not really fast, so they like wobble.
Not bring your evil here.
And I keep hearing stories about chihuahuas, because you know how Florida people like their chihuahuas. They eat their chihuahua and then they go back into the water. I haven't seen one yet, but I see a lot of gars, alligators.
Sure, it's not like a coyote with fins or something.
No, they were originally populated in China or somewhere in the Southeast Asia, and then they brought it over here, and then they started breeding real quick. But I never caught one. I'm like, damn, I want a snakehead because they're good for medicinal reasons, but they are really, really a pest problem. They eat everything basically. They eat all the fish.
What do they taste like, Chihuahua?
I don't know. I never caught one. I just want to find one because Florida's really infested with them, and I try to find them, but I can't. So they're like giant sucker fishes, like the size of a bass, like a full-grown bass, but black and suckerfish. It looks like a suckerfish, but
it's kind of scary, man.
Yeah, look them up, dude. They're good for medicinal reasons. At least that's what I hear they say. But other than that, they're free game. You catch it, kill it. Kind of like sharks in Florida, but I don't think you can kill them. No, yeah, throw them back.
Gators.
Gators, if they're in the populated area, if they're over 9 feet, you can kill them right away. But if they're not 9 feet, you gotta let them go. Call animal control or something. We actually had one in our backyard and we killed it. So I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if they actually did kill it, but they said they killed it. I don't know where it is. Never came back. And we have manatees? Yeah, we have manatees in our canals. So it's crazy.
Deep fried gator.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Deep fried gator tail, my favorite.
Yeah, gator tail, a lot of meat in there.
I'd like to track gators sometime. I've never had the pleasure, though.
It's like a freshwater chicken, no joke.
I was gonna say the same thing. You know, they said the same thing about frogs.
I've never had frogs, and I don't want frogs because frogs are just ugh.
They said it tastes like a fishy chicken, but there is no fishy smell or taste to it. It's just like chicken. It's exactly like chicken, texture and everything.
The only thing about gator is it does taste like chicken, but it's got that freshwater taste as like, you know.
Yeah, the smell. Yeah. It's the smell that gets the yeah.
Right.
Now if you get one of those sewer gators, then you're like, oh crap. Tastes like shit.
You don't want to eat those.
Oh jeez. Have you guys tried Nutria? I never had that.
Nope.
Those are those like hamster-looking things, right?
They're like beaver-looking thing, but like maybe twice as bigger or something like that.
Never tried that. We don't have enough edible critters around here. Or at least not that are like game critters. Need something I can eat like all year.
Muskrats?
Could just shoot deer all year. We usually get a permit in the summertime, but it's like the meat gets funny when you shoot them in the summer.
Yeah, they're all sweaty and stuff. Ew.
I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's just like the meat doesn't cool down fast enough and kind of like half spoils before you get it cut and wrapped or something. I don't know, but it's never as good in the summertime.
Everybody, run. I don't know. But I want to try at least one of every fur out there, so.
I hear beaver's really good, but I've never tried it either. Have y'all ever tried beaver?
Yes, I've eaten beaver.
I've never had beaver. And hello, Yankee. How are you?
Fine. Beaver's okay if you're someone that's ever eaten possum before. Basically the same. It's kind of bleh. Most people that'll eat that kind of meat will either have to stew it or jerky it because as a meat it's not really that great.
I mean, looking at the beaver, I probably think it tastes like bear meat.
Well, bear meat's awful. You find a butcher that'll deal in bear meat because they'll tell you it's subpar meat.
It sucks.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, that's what I would probably think it probably tastes like. But if you say it's good, probably. Yeah.
People that tell you bear meat's good are just trying to justify hunting bear because bear meat, no butcher will handle it because it's such a low, poor quality meat.
There's a guy up the road that eats the hell out of bear meat, and I think it's disgusting, but I always give him all of mine because I don't want the shit, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've eaten it, it isn't good. It's like getting the cheap, it's akin to getting Mexican beef. Have you ever eaten Mexican beef, like gone down to Mexico and eaten their beef?
It's fucking greasy as shit.
That's kind of what bear meat's like.
Mexico has their own particular meat? What the hell?
Well, no, the cows raised in Mexico, the beef they keep for their own consumption is not the good shit. It's horrible. So,
yeah.
Anything worthwhile gets packaged up and shipped off where they get better money for it.
I think the best beef you can get is from Japan because they like literally tenderize the shit out of there, massage the cows.
You mean Kobe?
Yeah.
Kobe beef. It's where they take the cow and they literally feed it, sake so that they can soak the meat in rice wine.
I decided to splurge one time on a Kobe steak, and it was just a little tiny steak, but I wasn't paying. It was a birthday gift that I was getting this nice dinner. And I decided to splurge on Kobe beef, and I've never been so fucking disappointed in my entire life. I'm like, this is only slightly better than a good ribeye.
I think it depends on how old it is, too.
It didn't taste like they masturbated that cow every day before
It just tasted like a halfway decent cut of beef. It just tasted like if you went to Ruth Chris and ordered a ribeye steak. Of course, if you go to Ruth Chris and order a ribeye steak, you're still paying $75, $80 for it. So.
We raise cattle, so it's like, I mean, we don't butcher our own cattle, but there's like a Mennonite dude over in Harrisonburg that'll butcher a few for us every year, and we freeze them, so eat so much beef that it's kind of a treat to have like chicken sometimes. Maybe I'm being a dick about it.
We would raise ours, and we had a neighbor that raised his, and my grandfather would not eat his own because he didn't want to eat something that you knew its name. So every year we would trade off. We would trade off like 3 head and have them butchered, and we would eat his cows, he'd eat ours.
Yeah, we don't name any of them. They just get a number.
I always named them. I used to ride one of them all the time. My grandfather used to put a saddle on Daisy, and I used to ride her around.
It's fucked up, dude. Never tried
Why?
that.
I mean, not eating.
Cows, you know, depending on the breed, most cows are pretty docile. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we raised our steer for meat, but we raised the cows for milk. Because most time, if you eat meat, it's mostly a steer, not a cow. So the cows, we all.
Are you suggesting that every single dairy cow isn't 8? Because every single dairy cow is also 8.
No, well, most of them actually end up more in feed for other animals than they do on your plate.
Yo, Yankee. So I got ours to
old age and threw them on the bone pile back when we had the dairy farm. Never butchered any of the dairy cattle even when they got old.
Yeah, they usually end up in feed products like dog food and other feed for other cows, unfortunately.
No, they can't feed cows to cows anymore. So
yeah, they used to. They used to.
Why is that? Why is that? Is it not good?
Spinobifida.
What causes
well,
mad
cows
cow?
are designed to eat grass, and we're feeding them themselves.
They got that bovine cephala, what do they call it? Cephala something, bovine disease, the mad cow disease.
Yo, I skinned some cow heads one day.
I hope they were dead.
Yeah, they were.
Oh man, if it was alive, that'd be terrible.
My teacher brought in, my ag teacher brought in some decapitated cow heads, and we skinned them all. Well, not really all of them, but most of them.
Awesome.
And people were screwing around, you know. Only like, what, 4 people skinned the cows? Everybody else was just minding their own business.
I can't say I've ever skinned a cow because I never butchered a cow. Skinned deer before, but never a cow.
I mean, in my agriculture classes when I was in high school, the only thing we did was learn how to drive a tractor and how to plant tobacco. You know?
How to plant tobacco, really?
Yeah, but I knew how to drive a tractor.
I went to high school in Kentucky, in rural Kentucky. So,
that's
nice.
So I knew how to drive a tractor and hang tobacco.
No, we did not learn how to roll it and smoke it. We just learned how to, grow it, bale it, and then take it and sell it. That's all we learned.
Right.
You ever spend your summers hanging it?
No, we didn't. We spent class time hanging it up because it was the hanging. There was an entire barn to go out and hang it.
Oh yeah, so. You go and you hang them in rafters in barns, and it's different levels, like just board.
Yeah, we had a huge old wooden barn out back of the high school, right behind the field that we would go and hang it.
I used to spend my summers either throwing hay or hanging tobacco, and I would much rather bale hay. And baling hay is horrible. You get hay everywhere, and it punctures your skin, and you just can't get it out of you. It's almost like fiberglass.
Yeah. Well, we baled tobacco because that's how we basically baled all the tobacco once it was dry. And then we go and take it over to the Louisville. The Louisville Convention Center, because that's where all the tobacco farmers in Kentucky would go and take their tobacco to sell it off to the the big corporations.
I would still rather bale hay than hang tobacco because I could not stand walking out on those rafters up in the top, because it wasn't too bad when you started and you were in the lower section. By the time you get up to the top, you're walking out on these little 6-inch wide platforms with big hanging sticks of tobacco on both sides of you, balancing like a high walker, putting them out there, and I could not stand that.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We had it all on the first level. That's it.
It doesn't grow here. It's too cold for it, I guess. You must be from the southern part of the state, huh, Yankee?
I used to, when I was working in the summer times, I would go down to the farms in Kentucky or sometimes even Forres, Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, in the Tennessee, this North Carolina, the South Carolina, and Virginia areas, you would be growing Virginia tobacco. Yep. Up in Kentucky, you'd be growing burley.
Virginia swag.
Okay, Aaron, that's enough.
Okay. What? I'm from Virginia. Need chill.
Somebody smoking their own product.
Yeah, he's only smoking the finest.
I don't miss the square bales, man. We started making round bales after all my cousins went to college and we didn't have enough help anymore.
The round?
I like that a lot better. Never have to touch them with your hands, yeah. The big old round ones, you know.
Just roll them off the back of the truck.
Hell yeah. I'd still borrow a square bale or build some straw for my cousin every now and then, but don't do it very often, fortunately.
Worst part is my grandfather would make us throw the bales, throw the hay for the cows.
Oh, you didn't have a fucking one that like launched them into the wagon or anything, huh?
Yeah,
hell with that, man.
Yeah, having that
Stack
shit.
in place. No way, man.
Worst part though was taking it out and actually feeding the cows, because those sons of bitches, when you start throwing out the grass and stuff for them, they'll knock you down getting that shit.
I used to throw them out of the mouth onto the back of a pickup, and then I'd like drive out into the field and just put it in, low gear and
kick it off,
hop out onto the back of the truck and let it just, chug on down through the field and throw it off to them instead of getting down where they could trample on me.
Can't you put it in like a separate pin, and then let them into that pin to eat it?
Separate pen. All we had was like 15 acres wrapped with old post fencing and a little bit of barbed wire and electric around the top.
They know when it's time to eat, man, and yep. they go where the food is.
Kind of like how they do with pigs, they keep them in one pen and then put the food out and then they let them go.
That's really any domestic animal. They'll go where the food is.
Our pigs were on the side of the barn, and we had one of those barns that was like a two-stage barn. Like it's the big barn on the one side, and then there's a smaller barn off the side. So you have this big slanted roof that goes down the double side. And we used to literally get up in the hayloft and slide down the roof and land in the pig pen. And the fun was you would slide down the roof, land in the pig pen, and have to scramble to your feet in the mud and shit and get over the fence before the boars attacked you. And we used to think that was fun because we were stupid.
Yeah. Well, you got any scars?
You got attacked.
We got rid of the hogs when I was still very, very young. I can just barely remember them, but we had them in like a pit because they'd always pushed fences down, so they built this like cinder block pit that they kept the hogs in. And my mom was always paranoid I was going to fall down in there and get ate.
Yeah, they'll hurt you. And my grandmother, when she first found out we were doing that, she threw a fit. We got in so much trouble, but it was fun. We thought it was fun, but it was stupid.
Wow. I bet you got some scars to tell, huh?
No, I never got hurt doing it. Never. My cousin Stevie got bit once by a pig, but surprisingly we weren't actually doing that. He tried to decide to pet the pig, and the pig pushed him, and he turned around to go away, and the pig bit him around the ass. It bit through his pants, bloody, blood, drew blood. So
you had to put it down.
Coming right for us.
If an animal draws blood, you have to put it down.
Nah, I don't think we put him down. I doubt he probably got butchered the next spring, but I don't think we put him down. Now, if we killed every animal that drew blood, we'd kill all of our geese and chickens because they attack you every time you go in there.
Fuck you, mean motherfuckers. I got attacked by a goose when I was a kid, and I hated the son of bitches for years after that.
I got knocked out by one. I ran up behind it. We were trying to get a goose to eat. My grandfather was going to let me catch one for the change. I was probably about 10. I ran up and grabbed it by the back of the neck like he told me to, and it folded its wings backwards and caught me with the spurs of its wings right on both sides of my head at the same time and just knocked me cold.
What is their problem, dude? They just attack for no reason. Even if it's not territorial, they just go after you.
Fucking mean. That's what
you got your ass knocked out by a bird.
Yep.
Hissing motherfuckers. Ugh.
Yeah, I hate when they hiss at you.
That's probably why we don't go to parks anymore, because they're everywhere, and so they'll just start chasing you for no reason.
The Canadian geese seem to be a lot more docile than the big gray geese.
Yeah, they are. They really are.
We never had Canadian geese. We had those big gray motherfuckers. I don't know what they're called, but the big gray and white ones.
Nobody wants to eat a Canadian goose. That's like the most foul of all the geese, right?
What's that?
Nobody wants to eat a Canadian goose. That's like the greasiest of all the geese, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I was gonna shoot one this year and try it, but I never got a chance. I was too busy working on my house. I think the season comes in once more for a week, but I'm not sure when.
I love goose because I like dark meat. So, goose is the best dark meat around.
You ever tried a silky chicken?
Not that I know of.
It's a dark
What the hell is
meat
a silky chicken?
Can they fly?
I don't think they fly now. It's a species of domestic chicken. Asian people eat it a lot. That's all I know.
Nah, I'll stick to free-range chicken.
I can never get anybody here to agree to a goose for Christmas. Everybody always wants turkey because everybody likes the white meat. And I'm like, the white meat is so blah.
What do you mean white meat?
Dark meat is bad for you, isn't it?
What do you mean, Yankee?
White meat
Yeah, and bacon gives you cancer and all that shit.
Yankee, please.
Just eat what's good. Hell yeah.
Turkey white meat doesn't have a whole lot of flavor to me. It's just I don't like the texture.
You gotta cook it right, bro.
I know how to cook it. I mean, I've had turkey every way you can possibly cook it. I just don't find the white meat to be that flavorful, not compared to the dark meat.
I
never really found a difference, actually.
You can't tell a difference between white meat and dark meat?
No, I guess KFC just sucks at making it.
Oh. Ay, ay, ay. What could be on Gunbroker today?
Oh shit, I didn't check my daily Velmet bookmark to see if there's a fucking 20 gauge barrel set available yet. The last one that was up for sale was like 2.5 years ago, and I quit bidding when it hit $850. So I was like, fuck that, just for barrels, but I should have bought it. I mean, there have been some others, but they're all like skeet barrels, like cylinder over improved cylinder or something like that. And I want the full over modified barrels, and apparently they're impossible to find or something. I don't know what the deal is with that.
One day on Gunbroker, I found a giraffe head pedestal.
Is it some kind of kinky sex thing or something?
I have no idea. I just found a giraffe pedestal, bro.
I gotta go make dinner so that I can watch the Fate of Destiny chat at 6 o'clock. So I gotta.
Oh, you're gonna watch that chat, huh?
If I'm around, I watch the Fate of Destiny chat. I usually do if I'm around.
All right, so we know what Yankee's watching.
Is that today? Hold on, let me see this.
Should be today at 6 o'clock my time, like another 50 minutes.
It's
9 o'clock for me. It says 9 o'clock, so it's like 8:12 for me.
Yeah, well, I got hit or miss at 10 tonight, Eastern. I don't know if I'm doing it myself or if, HVS, Hawkeye, and Smeggy are going to show up.
Yeah, today is Tuesday. I don't think, I thought she was on Wednesday.
Who?
That's what I'm looking at the live show schedule.
Yeah. Fate of Destiny? Yeah, she's supposed to be on Wednesday, isn't she?
She's supposed to be on Wednesday at 1 o'clock p.m., 1:30 p.m.
Maybe she changed it this week. Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe she says I'm doing it today instead of tomorrow because I got stuff to do tomorrow.
But when does she say? But when does she say that?
Woman's prerogative.
Right. But when does she say that?
It's been like that since, I don't know, it came on like 3 days ago, so it's been there for a while. I thought it was just a thing.
Just to see. I mean, I might watch it. She needs to get into a lobby chat one day. Fate of Destiny.
I doubt you're ever going to get her in a lobby chat. You might be able to get her into a show like, Never Enough Ammo show or, maybe Yankees hit her, what is it, shooting left to center? You might be able to get her into one of those, but that's about as far as she'll go.
No, actually, no, that's not tomorrow. That's Thursday at 10 p.m. What the heck?
Because remember, it's gun channels where the men are men and the women are scarce.
Right.
Dude, there's nothing on Thursday, right? No, that's what this one.
See, look. Fate of Destiny's live webcam is tomorrow.
And what's that one that's on that big? What is it? What's the one I see on Tuesday?
That's tomorrow.
It's it's Rick's show, Big Gunner 81.
Yeah.
It's Rick's show tonight, and it's at 9 Central, which is 10 Eastern. So
okay,
he's on the same time as I'm on tonight. But
yeah, so maybe that's what Yankee meant.
Maybe, who knows?
Or it's a private it's a private chat that we don't know about.
One chat.
It's
a private chat we do not know about.
Big Gunner.
Maybe she found his iPad.
Maybe they
Aaron
go on
gets
tiny
it.
chat.
Aaron gets it. Aaron heard that conversation.
Yeah. Maybe they go on tiny chat instead.
I'm gonna type something in the chat. Just say hi.
All right.
There's nobody in there though.
What in the
nobody
in the live show chat?
One chat.
Which chat?
Big Gunner 81.
Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes he doesn't do it. I've noticed sometimes. Though, granted, I'm not the best example either because I didn't do my show last week because I had other shit to do.
Yeah.
Imagine that. But
we're lazy.
No, you're lazy. I just lose track of time.
Yeah, right. I'm not lazy. I come on here every day. Look at that snakehead. Damn. I don't want to die.
Where's that?
It's a link on the side. Damn. Dude, that thing could probably eat my arm.
Snakehead fish. Oh yeah, I saw that on TV the other day. Some dude was trying to find one of them, and he found one of them, and he's like, "Shit, man, those things are vicious."
Yeah, that's why I'm looking for them, and they're infested in our waters, but I can't find one. And the ones I'm looking for are pitch black. They're like fully black, not like the striped ones you see there.
Right. My dad killed one of those one time.
No, they're mandatory. You have to kill them.
Actually, I think it was in the Occoquan River.
They're invasive species. Excuse me.
Yeah,
you have to kill them.
They ruined the bass fishing.
That's why I think they say it's mandatory that you kill them or eat them.
Yep.
No, I'm not sure how good they
mean kill them or eat them? So, like, if you eat them, you can't kill them? You have to eat them alive or something?
No, you have to kill them in order to eat them.
Yeah,
you kill them and throw... Okay, you kill them and throw them away, or kill them and then eat them.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, my dad...
Thank you.
We don't eat snakehead around here.
Well, they say it's medicinal. That's why the Chinese people are actually paying good money for it.
Yeah, I guess.
So what you're saying is we need to go and catch a bunch of snakehead fish, and then we need to go to like every Chinatown in the United States and sell.
Sure.
If you want to do that, you can. I mean, they're doing the same thing with the ginseng in the Blue Ridge Mountains. So it's doing the same thing. I mean, the Rocky Mountains.
I'm not saying this is a joke. I'm saying this like, hey, we can get some money off of this.
I mean, we did mention, $20 per coyote, so you can do coyotes, snakeheads, and then if you want to go pick some ginseng, go ahead and sell those.
Yeah, but that's only for the most veteran of, trappers.
Well, you gotta start from somewhere.
Right.
It'd be pretty hard work to make a living shooting coyotes for $20 a pop. I guess maybe you could sell the furs, maybe, or the furs. No, the fur market's shitty right now, so I don't know, man.
Yeah, and you probably get in trouble for coyote fur.
Yeah, the waste not, want not.
Open season year-round on those things.
Oh yeah, there's open season here in South Carolina. They're open season year-round, but I don't know if we've got a bounty on them.
You know what's funny? We have a law on not waste not, want not, but when a calf gets killed by a wolf, but it's not fully eaten, how come we don't just kill? How come we don't just eat the cow that's left? That it just got killed. Its neck got bit, but we don't eat it.
Because the wolf might have had rabies, and that gets in there fast.
So that's why we don't eat it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, that's a calf, but it's
have you heard of rabies before?
Yes, I heard of rabies. That's why I never really thought of it.
Well, that's the reason why. Or the wolf might be the wolf or coyote or something might be infected with it might have mange, and that can also that's just as bad.
I thought so what, wolves are nocturnal?
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on wolves, so I can't answer that.
Yeah, because I heard if it has rabies and it's a nocturnal animal, then that's why they're out during the day. But I didn't know if wolves were nocturnal or not, so would be an easy indication why. But anyways, dude, you have 7 dead calves. They're all meat right there. Eat it.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, we got 11 viewers right now. Awesome. Thank you. If you're on Gun Channels and watching this, thank you. If you're just on YouTube watching this, double thank you.
Remember, shit, I'll have to behave myself.
Yeah, nah. Remember, the expressed views and opinions of our panel members are that of their own, and not reflecting gunchannels.com or just YouTube in general, or Google. So just remember that when you're watching.
I tend to forget that we're live.
Yeah, and if you'd like to come and join the conversation, go to gunchannels.com/lobby and join the conversation. All right, let's get back to the important stuff. Guns.
Pie.
And pie. Guns and pie.
I'm not really into cakes, but pies are really good.
So after an enjoyable day at the range, what kind of pie would you like to go and sit down and eat?
Pecan pie. It's always pecan pie.
Damn, man, shut up! Stop copying me, man. Are you spying on me or something? Hello.
Yeah, of course. Don't you see the camera outside your window?
No clothes on.
You my pecan pie. I like the small ones. I like the really small ones. I don't know what they're called, but they're like the small ones.
For me, I think it has to be blueberry, because blueberry pie is delicious.
You know what? Something that really tastes good is something that's not mass-produced, like giant. Because when you make a big pot of something, it doesn't taste as good as when you make a small portion of it.
I eat more apple pie than I do pecan pies, though, because it's a pain in the ass to shell all those fucking pecans.
And then there's the fact that, you have to chew them extra hard because, pecans aren't the softest of nuts. Giggity.
That's true. I wouldn't just because you won't make pecan pies, then you have to sacrifice yourself to apple. You can make something else besides that.
Yeah.
Apple pie's good though, man. Yeah.
Yo, pick up.
Dr. No prefers cherry pie.
Like the actual lobby.
Cherry pie can lick my dick.
Pie chat. Oh my god.
Hashtag pie chat.
You know what? I don't care what y'all say, but I like me a good key lime pie.
I like key lime pie too. Preferably, my favorite pies are hot and cold.
I prefer cold.
Hot and cold are my favorite pies. You know why? Because really all pie is good. Just all pie is good.
Not really. Not all pie is good.
Some might be an acquired taste.
Rhubarb pie is pretty disgusting.
No. Strawberry rhubarb pie is delicious.
What? Robbie's sitting here like, no more Yankee my wanky, donger need food. What?
Oh, God.
The two people you should not pay attention to unless they're in a lobby chat like this one,
Why?
are Dr. No and Robbie, because they're like two of the biggest trolls here on Gun Channels.
Really?
Yes, really.
What's wrong with trolls? As long as it doesn't get out of hand.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. I'm just letting you know, giving you a warning.
I mean, when we're in the lobby, we really don't have a particular subject we're going after. We're just going after anything.
Yeah, I know.
So trolling is allowed in the lobby because we will switch subjects like that.
Yeah, true. Alright. There are like 2 people in the Never Enough Ammo chat, which, oh my god. There's somebody.
He's not doing a chat tonight.
Stone Guy chat.
Oh, gosh.
Where is Stone Guy? He seems to have disappeared while I was taking my internet break.
Yeah, it's Ohio 45.
Maybe something happened and he just needs a break or something. Oh, Jesus.
Uh-oh, No's in here. Run for it.
Why'd you gotta say something? Why is it, dude? You know this kind of potential, yet you say something and then it pops up. See?
Because
be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. I don't know him personally. I'm new to this, but if you say something and he doesn't say that, I don't know.
Doctor, no, you're a spooky person. Nah, I'm just kidding, bro.
I mean, for all we know, he could have a voice masking of a woman, and we probably think it's a woman.
That's gotta be pretty hard.
I mean,
Should
his
we
voice
join
can't be that
the
big,
actual lobby now?
Yep, the actual lobby's up. I think we should all switch over.
Yeah.
Wait, there are 2 lobbies?
Switch
What?
over.
Yeah, we're closing the early lobby now. Everyone, thanks for listening. This was the GunChannels.com early lobby. This is Nightstrike signing out.